Good morning, trail family. Welcome back to the second day of the inaugural Big Alta coverage today, the 28K, presented by GOLDWIN, along with our amazing sponsors, Red Bull, HVMN, and Speedland. Obviously, this is the coolest collaboration possible between Mountain Outpost, Freetrail, and Daybreak Racing. I'm joined in studio by the incomparable, the best hair in the business, Tim Tollefson. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm doing fantastic. I've cleaned off the mud from yesterday, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear about some of the slip and slide action out there. We're also joined in studio by our European correspondent this morning. We've got Ruby Wiles in studio with us too. Ruby, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. I am also feeling a little bit sore after yesterday, but yeah, mud is off, and I'm ready to be in the studio today.
Heck yeah. I think we've got Liam down at the start finish area, so we'll be able to check in with him in just a little bit. But we've got quite the race. It's going to be kicking off at 8 a.m. local time, just under 30 minutes from now. And we've got a course for these runners to take on today, but they are going to miss the famed Whopper from yesterday. I believe that you both experienced the Whopper. Who would like to tell me a little bit about what that segment looked like that the runners will not have to take on today?
You go first, Ruby.
Oh, I'll hand it over to you pretty quickly, because I didn't run it. By that point, I was no longer filming, so I walked it and kind of, skidded down it. But I don't know if I'd be here if I tried to run it.
I'm sure that anyone that did the 50K yesterday, it has a lasting imprint in their mind, probably for eternity. On Strava, the segment is called Shred the Gnar, and I think it's very appropriate. It's looking at the deets of it. What in 3/4 of a mile, you drop 900 feet, and sick. There's a little off camber section. It's because of the rain last week. It was really rutted out and not smooth, which made an already social trail a little more unsocial for everyone. And I know personally, or in the race, that comes right at the marathon mark. So you're at 26 miles, 26.2, and suddenly you take a hairpin left turn and scream downhill on the steepest part of the section, or the steepest section of the race. And I think at that point, everyone's legs are already pretty trashed. And then Dylan, the gentleman he sends him on a final kicker before the finish line. But I had the privilege of running with Eli Hemming, the eventual course record holder and winner of yesterday's 50K, and we were absolutely screaming down that hill. It was impressive to see him put on his clinic, and he was just full gas all the way down. I lost control and almost took him out from behind because I was fumbling with my gimbal. And in the process of avoiding him, I smacked into a tree, lost my phone, had to go back uphill, grab my phone, and then I hauled back down to catch him. And it was worth it in the end because apparently I have a 2-second course record on him for that segment. So it is forever cemented as the cameraman took down the course record holder of the Big Alta on a 0.75 mile stretch after he'd already run 27 miles.
Well, to be fair, we tagged you in as well because Dylan had his doors blown off earlier in the race as he tried to keep up with our men's elite pack. But it truly was. And that also was a place in the race yesterday where I think a lot of the shakeups happened. We saw the eventual winners, both Eli Hemming and Lottie Brinks, maintained their lead through that entire section. They actually gained significant time over everyone there. The gaps went from 2 or 3 minutes up to as much as 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because, if you took that downhill more cautiously, you would give up a lot of time. And I think it's quite rare that when you look at elevation graphs, they always often tend to overplay the ups and downs. But if you look at the graph of the Whopper, it literally is a vertical line, and I can confirm you do literally fall off a cliff. When you look at the it's like a shark tooth, and it is really that steep. And what Tim also mentioned is because of the rain and the debris that kind of gathered the last few weeks, it's there's a loose layer of ground over the top of the trail. So when you move, the trail moves too.
One thing they will not have to deal with today is that Whopper, and they will be staying largely on very fast terrain. I know there was a little bit of mud early on yesterday, Tim. You took some slip and slides out there. What are the runners expecting from the course today?
Sure. If you actually look at just the profile, essentially the Big Alta 28K is the inner loop of the 50K.
Sweet.
So it's 17 and a half miles or so, 4,000 feet of climbing, but you're eliminating that little lollipop loop at 6 miles from the 50K, and then the Whopper and the end part. So it definitely is going to be very runnable. I think with another day, 24 hours of sunshine, the mud that was there is going to be even more dried out. And having 300 people stomp through there yesterday, they've kind of packed out a nice footpath for everyone. I would expect
This is the splash zone.
That's the splash zone. Did you catch any of the falls on the splash zone?
We caught some really odd line choices in the splash zone.
See,
yesterday.
I totally missed the splash zone because I was on Big Rock Ridge, so I didn't even see any of this. But
so in the splash zone, I had the privilege of running with Lottie Brinks, and she was just cruising. This is probably mile 3, I don't know, 4.
Yeah, pretty early.
Yeah, pretty early on. And similar as someone that's very green on the media side, I was fumbling with my gimbal. And I got a text from our producer, Matt, that you need to reset your gimbal. So I'm running downhill in the splash zone, following Lottie, trying to keep up, and resetting the gimbal, pulling my phone off, trying to unlock my pass or use the
hey,
passcode,
Lottie, would you slow down a little bit for me?
And then I suddenly, before I know it,
forming.
I'm on my back, just sliding down head first behind Lottie. And the guy behind me was like, that was a perfect slide. And then Lottie flips her around and she's like, oh, you look like you're good. And I stood up, I'm just covered in mud head to toe. My phone is completely soaked over. I'm like, I probably broke the gimbal. But I didn't lose a stride. I was with her, and I dusted off my ego, and it was grand.
Yeah, we had some other technical difficulties yesterday. We had some phones that did not make it on course.
I would have loved it if your camera was facing the other way around.
So
you filmed yourself sliding.
Yeah, that's going in the highlight reel, I think, for sure.
But I think for the 28Kers, it's going to be a very fast start, and the splash zone is probably one of the only tricky sections for them.
I do want to add that while we've said that there's no Whopper and we're missing out also the climb on the way back up from the Whopper, there is still the Big Rock Ridge climbing up there, which is a very steep ascent too.
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting close to having Liam at the start. I don't know that we have his audio yet.
Do you have my audio?
I do. Liam, how is it out at the start this morning?
Good morning. You know what? The vibes are slightly different this morning. It feels a little bit more buzzy. People are here and there's energy, and I feel that. Yesterday it was a little cooler. So people were, like I said in the broadcast, just kind of staying away, staying in the cars, staying warm. Yeah, there's a little bit more warmth in the air. Maybe the ground picked up some of that sunshine yesterday, and the vibes are good. The start line's right behind me. The athletes are going to blast out of here, round the corner and onto the road, and then, of course, head up towards Loma Alta. I'll be here at the start line. I'll be over there at Big Rock, same place as yesterday, and then I'll be back here for the finish line. I have already primed a couple of the athletes and told them that they need to come see me here for some pre-start interviews. So definitely stay tuned for that. We've got local rivalries. We've got people flying in to come and try and take this course. I mean, honestly, yesterday was blazing. It was so exciting. Today, I think, is going to be like a level up, which is amazing. And I'm stoked to have Tim and Ruby on the broadcast today. Nice to see you both. I don't know. I'm just so fired up. I don't know about you guys in the studio, but I'm feeling pretty fired up.
Yeah, the hype is building in here for sure, and we're glad to see that you're not actively shivering like you were yesterday morning.
Definitely.
It was chilly out there yesterday morning.
I did bring a hat, and I have got a hot tea, so maybe I'm just a little bit more prepared.
Very Californian of you, though, in the shorts still,
Yeah, obviously. Come on. I
4 layers.
English, but I've spent enough time here now.
4 layers on top, pair of shorts on the bottom, probably some slides. Very California.
Oh, no slides today. No, we went with the GS Tams in honor of Lady Tamalpayas just over the hill. But yeah, I was in slides this morning. You saw me.
I did. I sure did. But you've got your workwear on. You're ready to go. Liam, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. We were kind of chatting earlier about what we thought the fastest time was going to be today.
Oh my God.
And we've got a lot of speculation. Anna Gibson, who might come join us in studio later, predicted a 1:40 for the men, which is screaming fast. But and we all kind of looked at her like she was crazy when she said that on Friday. But I think that you seem to agree with that.
On Friday, I said under 140. I know that's super crazy. Like I would say 139. I'm not going to go like below that. I think I'm going to hopefully have some really good context for this with these pre-start interviews, so I'm not going to say too much. But with the athletes that we've got in this field, it's going to be pedal to the metal from the start. And yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute rager. Barns will be burned, doors will be blown off, and all of the metaphors, it's going to be fierce. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. Like, my main concern for me today is getting up to Big Rock fast enough from the start line to make sure I'm ahead of them. Like, I think it's going to be that fast.
I think that's the exciting thing about today's race. Yesterday, we did notice fairly early on some big gaps forming between the top women especially, but also Eli and the top men. But I think today it's going to stay closer together, like bunched up for a lot longer, which is going to make for some really exciting racing.
I think it's going to be a scrap. Like, I genuinely think it's going to be like a proper dogfight. Like, the guys are going to go out so hard, and yeah, there might be blood. There might be blood.
Well, we had blood yesterday. Lottie took a silly fall at some point in time, scraped up her hands. Pretty darn good to take that win. But you're right. There's going to be, I think we're going to see some good fights. I think we're going to see some carnage despite it being a shorter race. But, sometimes you forget that it's, still like 17 miles or so, just over 17 miles. It's no easy feat.
Yeah, with 4,000 feet of climbing.
The thing that was funny about that particular fall, not to laugh at Lottie's fall, but, I mentioned the broadcast yesterday, Eli was saying there was not a rock on the course. He said this to Tabor after he'd finished. They were talking about how fast today's going to be. He said it's so runnable, like no technical sections, other than the Whopper, obviously. And so for Lottie to have found what possibly was the only rock on the course and to have tripped on it is definitely, was in her words, a silly fall. Hopefully that's not the case today for our athletes.
Yeah. So Liam, you are saying 139.
I think, I mean, yeah, I am.
No, I say own it. Go for it.
Yeah, I do. I own it.
Bet the house.
Can we get some like alliteration? What's it called when you repeat numbers? 139.39. That's what I'm going to say.
What about on the women's side?
Tabor's so strong and so fast. I really think it's her race to win. Or I think somewhere between 2 hours and 2:10, like really fast. She's fast enough to run that, I think.
I think for Tabor it'll be 2 to 2:10. Yeah, because that's putting her right around 7 minute pace or so for this course. Yeah, and I definitely admire your confidence in the men. For context, if the winner runs 139, that would be 5:45 pace out there for 17.3 miles, which is, it's mind-bending. However, these athletes are definitely capable of that, and we'll go through the specifics of each of them later. However, I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's closer to 145 for the winning time for men.
Okay.
I think it's going to be in that like 6 minute to 6:20 range. But that's my thought.
Yeah, and I think if you do that,
it is so fast.
It's so fast.
Sorry to cut you off, Corinne.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to say I think if you do that with 145, then like that 2-ish hour mark, maybe 2 to 2:05. I'd say probably 2 to 2:05 for Tabor. She's got Claire Rhodes, who's going to be there pushing her. Claire is incredibly strong.
Now, do we have confirmation Claire is racing?
I don't.
Okay, because I talked to her at the finish line yesterday, and I told her I was super stoked about just like spouting off about her on the live stream, and she mentioned to me that she wasn't sure if she was going to race because she was dealing with a little bit of a niggle, and I said, hey, I respect that. Like, you're being a mature young athlete. She's got a great future in the sport, but I don't know if we have confirmation if she's actually in or not.
I guess we'll be looking for that North Face kit on the start line.
And that's going to wreck some people's picks.
That is going to destroy some Freetrail fantasy picks. You have 13 minutes to get those picks in, and maybe some of you are going to start hedging on that.
I feel like she may have been doing some backyard betting, and she had like insider trading on this.
But back to Tabor quickly. We can't discount the intel she has from Eli's amazing win yesterday. Yeah. So if anyone knows the course, she'll know the course almost as well as a local.
The thing that I think will make the times in this race, just like yesterday, just like Black Canyons, I don't think we would have had a course record without Matt Seidel leading that first 23, 24 miles at that ridiculous pace. Like yesterday, Matt Daniels pushing Eli to really give it some. Lottie knowing that Christina was right behind her. I think the guys, it really just depends who takes that charge at the beginning. You know, if Paddy goes out how I expect him to go out, we could be in for a real fast race. You know, if they are literally going to throw everything at it. If it's, you know, if they try and be more conservative, then maybe we'll be at that.
It's not going to be conservative.
And I agree with you.
Exactly.
I think,
this is why I think it's going to be ridiculously fast. Because I just think these guys are going to pull the pin, throw, and go. And it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be full
I'm gonna peace out and go and see if I can find a few runners. We're 11 minutes, 10 minutes 42. Keep doing this good stuff. It's so good to hear all this chat. And I will find you some athletes, and I will get some conversation, and we'll try and get a little bit of pre-start line insight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liam. We're going to throw to a quick ad break in studio, and we'll be right back with you.
Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Speedland, the best trail shoes ever created. This is the brand new commission, the GS PDX, the 6th model in Speedland's short but illustrious history. You'll notice it's a throwback to the initial colorway of the first model, the SL PDX, though this is built on the GS platform. Plenty of cushioning to take you as long as you want to go on the trails. There's people going to be racing in it this weekend in both the 50K and 28K, but also people wearing it at Cocodona here in just a couple months' time. Everything you've come to expect, the double BOA fit system, the HTPU midsole, the drop-in P-backs, secondary midsole, also removable carbon plate, nothing better than the Speedland. Go pick up a pair of the GS PDX. You'll find a link and a discount code here in the description on YouTube. The inaugural Big Alta presented by GOLDWIN. A big thank you to GOLDWIN for their support of our race this year. You'll see that I'm wearing their inaugural trail running capsule of products, this Japanese brand moving into trail running for the first time. We couldn't be more excited to help them do so. You see, we got the Marinwood green waterproof jacket, Freetrail logo on it. It's part of their initial trail running capsule. We've also got a great pair of trail running shorts here. You'll see the signpost logo there, bottom right. Also have another Freetrail logo on the back. There's also a really nice wool and polyester blend t-shirt as part of this trail running capsule. And finally, a nice pair of waterproof pants. Hopefully we won't need these on race day, but a big thank you to GOLDWIN. Check out the description for a link and a discount code that you can apply towards these great products. Thanks to GOLDWIN for helping to support the Big Alta in its inaugural year, and especially the live stream.
Alrighty, we are back in studio. Less than 10 minutes to go to the start of the inaugural 28-kilometer race here at Big Alta in Marinwood. Lovely Marinwood, California. Perfect weather on the day. Currently just over 50 degrees outside, but full sun, not a cloud in the sky. And we've got to talk a little bit about the athletes that are going to be stepping on the line. While we were on that commercial break, we're kind of, just waxing and waning a little bit about the fact that we've got some people coming in from out of state, from other areas like Liam Miro, but we've got some really strong local guys and gals that are looking to make an impact here today. Tim, let's start with the men, I think.
As Liam said, the races are really going to be contingent on who takes out the event, and I believe that for every roaring lion you have at the finish, you need that sacrificial lamb. And yesterday, or as you mentioned at Black Canyon, Matt Seidel was possibly that sacrificial lamb, and it led to some historically fast times. I think honestly that we're gonna have a similar thing here, but I predict that Liam is the one that takes it out hard, and then the local guys are the ones that end up. What was that?
Oh, I said agreed.
I think
Liam's
Liam's gonna take out. He's fresh off a new contract with Nike Trail. He had a great debut rookie season. He's coming in here wanting to make a name for himself early in his career, and he's a runner. If you look at it, he's one of those guys. He comes from a traditional track and road background, and in high school he was a 1,600 meter champ and a cross-country state champ for Colorado.
Well, if you look at what he did last year too, he's used to these European World Mountain Running Association races that go out guns blazing. Yeah. So I think that plays into your racing style. You just get so used to that as well, that I think he will take it out very, very fast.
But then you have, the locals like Nick and Patty and Levi, and I feel like
Jeff Stern,
all of those guys that have spent so many thousands of miles out here. they are going to benefit from Liam just hammering. And it's not to say Liam's not going to hold it, but I really think that he's probably going to maybe give up a little bit at the end, and one of those guys that are a little more seasoned and familiar with these trails are going to capitalize on that.
Yeah, and I think that, Patty and Nick in particular, so Nick Handel and Patty O'Leary, both local Bay Area runners,
We're gonna throw it to
have done, they're so used to racing 50K plus distances at this point. I'm really curious to see them in a 28K, just because I think that provides a lot of interest. Oh, we've got Liam with Tabor Hemming in the field. Liam, good morning.
Hey again. So I'm here with Tabor. Tabor, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. Yeah, I'm at sea level. I can't complain.
Obviously, yesterday Eli did such an incredible job on that 50K. Has he been able to share any insights with you on the course?
Yeah, he shared that there's a really muddy section at like 2-ish miles in. So stay on my feet there. And then otherwise, like, taking the views. We've never ran here. And he was like, it's dead gorgeous. So I might slow down a little just to take in the views.
I was just about to ask, do you have a strategy? Slowing down didn't feel like one of the things that was going to be in there. Do you have any strategies or kind of upcoming plans for the race?
My strategy is kind of the same every time. I see how my body feels. And if it feels good, I push hard. And if it doesn't feel good, I still push hard.
There you go. Is there any of the other competitors that you're feeling particularly concerned about, or are you running your race today?
I run my race always, but I think Claire Rhodes is going to be a super strong contender. Like, I've seen her at other races, and I know that she's a fantastic runner, so I think she's someone to watch out for. But other than that, I bet there's other names. I'm just not super tuned in.
Well, listen, we're rooting for you. We hope you have a great race. Good luck. I'm going to see who else I can find. I'll be back as quick as I can.
Go, Tabor. Go, Tabor, go. Yeah, I got to see her a little bit yesterday, and I said 28K, huh? And she goes, yeah, I'm the smart one. talking about Eli not dropping down to the 28K. So really happy that they're both here, getting to experience some more sunshine. That other Adidas Terex outfit is Gordon Giannini, who now is like a Utah guy but lives in the Tahoe area, more of a 100-mile specialist, the bear, that kind of thing. But really excited to see him throw down in a shorter race. There's Yassine on the far left-hand side there too, just taking off that long sleeve.
One of the OGs of the trail scene. Oh,
Liam has Liam and Liam.
It is Liam with Liam. I love getting a little bit of name synergy here with Liam Myro. Liam, how are you feeling this morning?
Feel tip top. A little nervous, but super excited. I've been having race dreams since like Wednesday night, so this has been a long time coming for sure.
Obviously, you're not one of the locals. What preparation have you done with the course?
I've run the Dipsy course, which is not this course, but in the region. So I get the dirt trail vibes. And then I ran like a couple miles on the course yesterday. So it'll be all new for me.
Any strategies or plans going into this?
I'm going to cue off the local guys. Patty, I just go off instincts. I mean, conservative, stay aerobic. Yeah, just you kind of play it by ear. I've got the fitness to do about any different strategy. So I'm just going to roll with the punches.
There you go, roll with the punches. Yesterday, I asked one of the athletes if they had a mantra going into today. In fact, it was Matt Daniels, what his mantra was. Is there a mantra for you going into this?
This year is all about work harder, not smarter, which is contrary to popular belief, but that's how we roll.
There you go. Good luck. Thank you so much, Liam.
All right, thanks, Liam.
There you go. Harder, not smarter from Liam Myro. We've got 2 minutes 42 seconds. We might be pushing it, trying to grab one more, but I am going to try and grab one more. Keep it going, Corinne. Thank you so much.
It's great to see everyone lined up in the start corral, almost ready to go. Not too long to go.
Got some more of that Cowgill collective. See those cow print hats and shorts. There's Nick Handel, Patty O'Leary there as well. I think
Tabor's lined up, ready to go.
do we see Claire out there?
that's not Claire on the far side of our screen. We see Tabor in the center there with Jeff Stern.
What should we be looking for Claire? What outfit is she?
She'll be in a North
wearing?
Face kit, which is like, another one of those like white top, black bottom scenarios.
So super easy to spot.
So easy to spot.
Now, I love what Liam said. He said...
Brett.
Oh, Liam, Patty, take it away.
Oh.
I have Patty. Patty, how you feeling? What's the crack?
Lads, we're here in beautiful Marin County on these beautiful new hills and trails, ready to rip for 2 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's a great place to be.
I just had a chat with Liam Myro, and he was saying he's going to anchor to you as the kind of lead for the race and just use your strategy. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I told him yesterday I'm going to go out as Dipsy style, so hard as I can from the very start and see who holds on.
Okay.
So we'll see if I follow through with that.
90
Good.
seconds.
Drop the hammer.
I do it, baby.
90 seconds. Go get on that start line. Best of luck to you. There you go. Okay, we're going to get the camera out of the way. I'm going to get out of the way. Things are about to get exciting. I'll see you at Big Rock.
Thanks, Liam. We will see you at Big Rock.
That's fantastic. You know, and I really want to touch on what Liam, the runner, said, and just he's exuding confidence. I really respect that. He's calling a shot kind of before the race even starts, but he was counter to what I thought. I thought he would take it out hard.
I love I've got fitness to do whatever strategy I need. And
Yep,
I was like, that is mic drop.
It is.
I do want to pick up on what Paddy said. 2 to 6 hours. I'm not quite sure if he might be pushing the cutoff if he goes towards the 6-hour mark.
Patty's not one to give in. He will round it out if he needs to.
He's a fighter.
Yeah. I mean, that's the good thing to remember. There are 300 runners out here that some of them are going to be chasing the cutoff. So the 6-hour mark is something that people are really eyeing for. And we are 20 seconds out.
Tony with the Sony, get out of the way. Yassine's coming for you.
Yeah, Liam's definitely
And
almost
you
got
got
a
to
toe over
remember,
the line.
Liam is another sub-4 miler. So he does have the arsenal and the toolkit to handle any sort of strategy out there.
We're waiting with bated breath. 3, 2, 1.
And Patty was the first off the line.
So as they go, just so you all know what our cameras are going to be doing this morning. Again, we don't have drones this weekend. So this is the Jam cam. Jam with the cam is going to be chasing our front of the pack for the first mile or so. Due to the guys just being blown apart by the blistering pace early yesterday, we've got Alex Varner and Dylan Bowman up on top of the ridge. They're going to be making their way backwards towards the runners, hoping to pick them up about 3.5 miles into the race. So we are going to have a little bit of a dead zone this morning while we wait for our leaders to get to our camera runners further up the hill. It turns out camera running is a lot harder than any of us could ever imagine. And we're investing in e-bikes and praying for a drone permit for next year. And Dylan said that he starts training tomorrow.
Training starts tomorrow.
Training starts tomorrow, guys. I'm up here on the ridge with Alex Varner. Varner, say good morning to your fans.
Good morning.
Another just absolute banger day here in Lucas Valley, Marinwood. We got Barry Spitz walking up the road here, a legend of the Dipsy coming up. Maybe we'll get a word from him. We're basically positioned maybe mile 3.5 on the race course here. So we've got a line of sight of the first ridge that they come over. We'll probably walk up the trail a little ways before Varner jumps in with the men and I jump in with the women. How's everything going in studio?
We are hanging. Tim brought more donuts, so when you get back down here, we got some fuel for you boys.
My guy, what a great co-host Tim must be, Corinne. Bringing the donuts 2 days in a row. Bringing the good vibes, the good energy. Does everybody know Alex Varner? This is our other volunteer camera runner here. Absolute legend, local running legend here. 9-time Dipsy fastest time?
Yeah.
9 times. No big deal. Barry, you want to come say a few words on the live stream?
Right, you may want to edit this. We're live, but
we are on air right now.
I did see mountain lion scat yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Pretty fresh on the trail going up Big Alta from Fairfax.
Hopefully our men and women will be moving fast enough.
Right, I
We'll
think
see.
they scared him. You're doing a great job, Dylan. A great addition to the county. I
Unreal.
really mean that.
So, for those who don't know, Barry, introduce yourself. You're a legend of the Dipsy. You're a historian of Marin County trail riding. It's actually kind of serendipitous that we bumped into him here because we have airtime to fill. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I wrote a history of the Dipsy race, and I've been the announcer for 43 straight years. And I wrote a book called Tamalpais Trails. Talks about this, and I walk up here a lot, and today
Dylan's feet a little bit. I was joking that Barry's a paid actor. you got someone just primed on a glorious hilltop to compliment Dylan.
Oh, yep. He definitely slid something under the table.
Yeah, it looks like our camera from out there is down. Matt behind the scenes is going to be making things happen. So until then, you're stuck with all of us here in Easy Feet. He was calling that he was going to get dropped pretty early a couple days ago.
And as you saw right from the start, Patty did take the lead, which is pretty typical. And the first mile is pretty much all pavement. They were going to be running the first 6 miles that we did in the 50K yesterday. And so I would expect that first mile to be well under 6 minutes, even though it's slightly uphill. And I think Liam is just going to be biding his time from what he said on the start line, just kind of sit and wait. And he does have the strategy to execute any sort of style that unfolds. But I think that they are going to be absolutely hammering by the time they get to Varner. And thankfully, Varner is going to be taking them because Varner is one of those OG Nike guys that is an incredibly fast runner. He's been on the scene for a decade, and he knows these trails better than anybody in probably all of San Francisco.
And while we mentioned that Dylan and Alex will pick up the runners about mile 3.5, that will be coming up pretty quickly with the pace that the front men are moving.
Yeah, we're not going to have to wait. It's going to be like 15 minutes. Dylan, you're back.
Is that Diablo? It is. Hey?
Yeah, it's Diablo. We're not on.
We got a hot mic.
Yeah,
We got
you
a
are.
Hot mic. He can't hear us.
Go ahead, Dylan.
No.
Tell us what you really think.
Dylan, we lost him. Dylan,
Hey
can you hear
guys,
us?
can you hear me?
Oh,
Loud and
yeah.
clear.
What's up? Did you guys get that little convo with Barry?
We missed part of it.
Okay,
We said he
so
was a paid actor.
Yeah, so anyway, this is Barry Spitz, an absolute legend of Marin County trail running. I was saying it was kind of serendipitous that we bumped into him because we have this air that we need to fill here this morning as we wait for the leaders to arrive here at about mile 3.5 where Varner and I are. And this guy, it doesn't get more legendary than him. He's been the finish line announcer for the Dipsy race for 44 years. So Corinne, I was saying we only have 40 years to go at Western States until we can catch up with Barry at the Dipsy race. But
I'm gonna
yeah,
try.
just it feels like the
Maybe I'll
universe
start
just
you.
smiled on us this weekend. Beautiful weather. And then even when we're out here getting ready to jump on a live stream, we bump into an icon of local trail running in Barry Spitz. Check out his books. You can Google them. History of the Dipsy Race and another one called Tamalpais Trails. So awesome stuff.
It's great to see all the locals out in force.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is back from Jamil's camera as they turn off of the tarmac and start to hit the trail. But yeah, yesterday I think we came through that first mile and the lead men were maybe just under 6 minutes. So I have no doubt that Liam and Patty, Nick, Levi, Jeff pushing that pace. I mean, Tabor just ran a half marathon 2 weeks ago where she ran a 1:13 high. So
Wow, that's booking it.
she's got some leg speed. So, those faster miles aren't going to be a problem for her. She's going to be, again, a 6 minute pace is not that, quote unquote fast for her. Hey, Dylan, we got you again.
Hey guys. Anyway, we're just camped out. Let's see if I can switch my camera around here. Can you guys see that?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Great morning.
It's an unreal morning.
What a banger
So just
day.
to give everybody a sense of perspective here, it's probably going to appear too small for you, but the runners will come up over that little ridge. That's the first little climb. And then they have the slippery downhill down into Terra Linda, and then they'll come up around on the fire road here. I think Varner and I are going to go position ourselves a little bit further up the trail and shoot down. And then there's sort of jump on the 680 trail, which is the first major intersection. So we'll make sure they jump on that correctly. Varner will get the men. I'll jump in with the women. And
I think
we'll
they're
take 'em up
heading your
over the
way,
top of-
Dylan.
Yeah, they're heading our way. So I don't see them yet over. I should be able to see them as soon as they crest the first climb. And then we'll probably start moving up the hill and getting in position. But you can see spectacular day here, panning over. You can't quite see the top of Big Rock Ridge. It's sort of around the corner there. But that high point that you see sort of in the center of the screen, that's the top of the Louise Fire Road. We're going to have a camera up there later on this morning. And that's at the top of one of the grinder climbs on the long descent down the Queenstone Fire Road to the finish. So anyway, I think we predicted under 2 hours was the consensus.
Yeah, well under 2 hours.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
thinking Liam called 1:39:39, Anna called 1:40, Tim called
145.
1:45. So you guys got your work cut out for you.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, two tempos in one weekend,
Do we have a pick from you on the time? What are you predicting?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to take the over again. Varner says 140 flat. I want to take the over again, but I'm an idiot. So, the thing was,
I'll say 142.
The thing was, Eli was just an anomaly yesterday. If he hadn't run so ridiculously fast, the rest of the field was sort of right on my prediction, which I think was 358 or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
you've got Liam in the field, you've got Tabor in the field, you've got those statistical breaking
Patty.
runners. Yeah, you got Patty in the field. You got some runners who don't like to hold the statistics.
Right, exactly.
The bell curve.
Anyway, it's going to be a show no matter what. I'm trying to turn the camera around here again, but anyway. Varner, any words for your fans here? He's using a gimbal for the first time today too, so
It'll be great. We're not going to die.
we're not going to die.
Millennials with technology, you guys are doing great.
When do I get to call myself a boomer?
You're getting there, about Varner. You're pretty close. It's good to see your smile.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Tim,
he's still
provide some
smiling.
Perspective on you've had a few duels with Varner in our day, haven't you?
I have. Yeah, he my first 50 miler was with Varner at the TNF 50.
Right.
The muddy one.
That was
The muddy
you
one.
finished on the podium, right?
Yep.
I think so.
I think Varner was third.
Yeah.
Varner
Tim, you were
kicked our butt.
seventh. Yeah, Tim, I
seventh.
I wore
managed.
road shoes for that race.
I
I wore
road
road shoes for that race in the muddiest TNF in history. I finished looking like I'd been dropped inside of a porta potty.
Yeah.
That was that old finish
this is
too.
Great. A bunch of aging dudes reminiscing.
That was only 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
2014.
So,
Oh
okay,
my
here we
God.
are in the studio. The ladies asked this morning, like, yeah, Tim, you're 32, right? And then Ruby said, no, I think he's 29. And I said, you know what? I'm actually 28. And they believed me. And then they said, when did you go to college? And I was like, I was in college in 2003. And they were like, wait, I wasn't even alive then. And putting it together, it's like, yeah, we are the aging dudes in the room.
Yeah.
At least we can do a high school.
I see if
There's two figures.
Yeah, two figures coming up over the first climb. They're definitely runners. So
Any bets on who we think they are?
Nick Handel.
It's going to be Nick Handel or Patty O'Leary leading the charge.
Yeah, with probably Liam in tow. Liam's going to cover, I think, every single move as long as he's feeling
I heard
good.
rumors of a dark horse, Rossi.
Really?
Ross, coming out of, I want to say, Boise.
all right.
Yeah.
Rossi.
A little inside information here. I don't know if you guys have already talked about it this morning, but Patty said to me yesterday that he was basically going Dipsy style today. He's hitting the gas from the gun and hoping to hang on.
I mean, he told
Patty
us
is one who loves to suffer, and if he's going to put the pressure on the field, that's definitely going to make things entertaining for the rest of us.
for sure. He told us he was predicting anywhere between 2 hours and 6 hours to finish. So I think he is, not sure what to expect himself.
All right, Varner and I are going to jog up the trail here, and we'll have a good line of sight at them as they make their way up here. And
It's
the view should
beautiful
be
out.
good. Yeah.
What
it's
does the
a little
trail
bit
look like?
cooler.
What does the trail look like compared to yesterday? Can we notice that there were runners on it?
It's about the same. No, you can't tell there's runners on it. It's still well marked, which is a race director. That's really all I care about. So it's a little bit cooler than it was yesterday, which I think the runners will appreciate. There you can see the top of Big Rock Ridge. There's some antennas at the top. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but that's the true high point on the course today.
Yeah, so just for those who are watching who are unfamiliar with the course profile, so the 28K is basically the inner loop of the 50K. They don't do the loop down to Fairfax, and they don't do the Whopper, which I think everyone is very excited about. And so today they'll just be on that inner 28K loop that's got a lot of really fast running in it. So still some really good climbing. It's got 4,000 feet in just over 17 miles. So still plenty of climbing to be had, but missing out on some of those things like the Whopper that legitimately destroyed people yesterday.
And as you can see on camera right now, there is some muddy sections to the course, especially around mile 3 to 4.
Yeah, the splash zone from yesterday.
The splash zone, which we are bound to see someone take a digger in here, which will be exciting as long as they are okay. We don't want any injuries, but the nice thing about this mud is, as they mentioned earlier, there are almost no rocks on the course. So that is a true slip and slide that when you do fall, you bounce right back up.
And beyond this muddy section, there really is not much mud on the course after that at all.
No.
Yeah. I was going to say that we did watch Moy, who ended up finishing 10th yesterday, who was in the lead pack of men, take several digger slip and slides in the first kind of like maybe 3 to 4 miles or so. So we definitely saw athletes going down. So as we said, keeping it rubber side down goes a long way.
Yeah, indeed. No, they're going to be screaming through here. And, you know, I talked to Patty yesterday, and similar to what Dylan just said, going out Dipsy style, we chatted about how this is kind of the perfect distance, 28K. It's like an extended cross-country race where you can truly hammer for just this is going to be hammering for an hour and 40 to hour 50 minutes probably for the leaders. But Patty was really excited about just being able to get out there and dig. And he is someone who's a natural talent in the running world. He did not come from the traditional background of cross country and track. He was a lacrosse player, but as he found running, he has absolutely like come to it with a fresh set of eyes where he just goes out and hammers, check to see what his body's capable of. So I've been in cross country races with him that he has won, and he takes it out in like 440, 445, not knowing that that's insane, and then he holds on. So there's something nice about that naivety of not knowing what to expect, and that's where with Liam, I think he has a fresh set of eyes, being a young athlete in this sport that similar, he doesn't know his potential yet.
Yeah, he's definitely learning as he goes.
I think we see some runners coming towards the slip and slide zone. Is that Patty in the blue?
I think
It
so.
looks like Patty and Liam. Looks like Liam is sitting on Patty's shoulder.
Which is exactly what I would do if I was Liam. Let Patty kind of lead the charge. You just sit comfortably, do only what you have to.
Liam gave us
just
a
threw
nice
up the
wave.
peace sign.
There's Nick Handel.
Yep. And Nick
Chasing.
Handel is no slouch himself, a local Bay Area guy that last year he ran 750Ks and got better in each one.
Yeah, finished 11th at OCC, which was an incredible performance. Second American there. Jeshrin was 5th. He was 11th. Like very, very strong races throughout. Went to Mammoth as well.
The top 3 men seem to have a bit of a gap on 4th.
I'm really impressed with Liam's strategy here. I thought he might take it out and just try and dominate the field, but he's showing a lot of maturity in his young career. And
That Jeff Stern.
Yep. But he's showing a lot of maturity where he wants the win. He knows that competing is important, and he's deferring to the elder statesman and Patty, and I think that's really going to pay dividends for him at the end.
Gordon Giannini.
And he was at Transvolcania last year. He ran a really good race. So he was 16th, which is a pretty solid time for him.
Yeah, I missed that
as
last
you said, he's
guy there.
maybe a 100-mile specialist, but he's mixing up with some shorter stuff, which is cool to see.
Yeah, living in the kind of California area now, up in the Tahoe zone.
Yeah, he's
formerly had been in Utah for a long time.
Oh, almost. That was a pretty good save.
Number 7 there.
We did not quite have a yard sale. Oh, is that Levi? It looked like it may have been Levi.
That'll be him in 7th.
Yep, that was Levi Miller. He's one of the local boys. He now lives on the East Coast, correct? I believe he might be in North
I think
Carolina.
we can now see Tabor coming. Tabor in the background, just behind
This gentleman in the
M8.
blue shorts.
And we have Tabor.
Tabor, safely in the top
rocking
10.
the splash zone like it's nothing. Now, the
Yeah,
neat thing
she
with
navigated
her,
that
like
well.
what she said at the start line, is she's at sea level. And for her, she's coming down several thousand feet from altitude to be here. And that's Scotty Bowes right
And
behind
the second
Tabor.
female isn't too far behind Tabor either.
That looks like that North Face kit. That is that pink and purple
Yeah,
of Claire Rhodes,
Claire.
I believe.
I am wrong, and I ruined Ryan Thrower's fantasy picks because he switched them up based on the data I gave, and I'm thankful that
And
I'm
me
wrong.
too.
Because
I
seeing
changed
Claire
mine.
in this race is absolutely fantastic. That means we're going to have a race.
Especially to see her that close to Tabor.
But as Corinne mentioned, Tabor recently ran a 1:13.5, which that's right around 5:35, 5:40 pace
That's
per
booking it.
mile. So if we're thinking about this, even with 4,000 feet of gain, being at that 2-hour mark is going to put her right around like the 7-minute
Those you seen
pace.
right there. Yeah.
And right now, this is going to feel very comfortable for Tabor.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I'm jealous. I'm jealous when 6-minute cruises uphill feels great for everyone around you. But yeah, so we'll have a good race there. This might be Becca Lohman.
Yeah, I think we're going to have the first 3 women through, and I think we've got about the first 15 men as well.
I can't see the bib number, but I know Becca's racing.
Yeah, and if that was Becca, she lives in Mill Valley. She definitely knows these trails, and she has demonstrated a lot of great performances on the short courses.
Well, then I wouldn't be surprised if that was Becca, because she seemed to navigate that slip and slide very well. I mean, it definitely looks like the women are handling it a lot better than the men.
Yeah, there's F4 in that group.
F5 close behind.
Yeah, we've got a number of the Impalas, I think, out racing.
Okay, so that was Julia Schultz that came through, and she is a young talent that is also, she's going to be coming out to Trail Fest this September. But yeah, don't have much
another
information
Bay
on her.
Area gal.
Okay.
Great to see them represented at all parts of the field. And we have another woman here.
Yeah, this really gives a good vantage point of that splash zone. And like we said earlier, most of almost the entire course is dry.
It was Sylvie in third, the gal that we didn't identify there. She's in the kind of pink crop and black shorts.
And
Is
glasses.
Sylvie.
Yeah, I was looking at Sylvie, and in the Bay Area, she has basically crushed all of her half marathon trail races and 50Ks, like absolutely dominates. As she's gotten into the longer stuff like Black Canyon, they haven't panned out, and I don't know what the reasons for those are, but obviously this is 28K, so she only has 17 miles to deal with. But I believe she was actually at Black Canyon 2 weeks ago, but did not finish that race.
Gotcha. So showing up here, it looks like she's got Quicksilver 100K coming up in May. So continuing to try at that 100K distance while she has a long history of running really solidly in that kind of 30 to 50K.
I mean, not to mention this is a hometown race for her, so she does have intel on the course.
Yeah, lots of Cowgill Collective folks out
You
there.
can see a lot more men and women
They
now
must
coming
feel right
down.
at home in the mud.
And them just tromping around
Yeah.
through it.
It is interesting seeing the line people are picking. Some go straight down like the fall line while you're skiing. Others try to almost zigzag their way down. Often in something like this, you just need to send it. Stay
Well-
sure-footed. Keep your weight forward. I like the arm movements on this gentleman.
Oh, we've got our first runner down.
We have a woman that just took a digger. Taking inventory. She looks to be okay, thankfully.
She's back running. Probably just a soft landing, some squidgy mud. She's smiling. She seems to be having a good time.
Yeah, so
Someone else
Corinne
behind.
Shalvoy with the pickup on Sylvie there, and then some other folks from the Bay Area shouting her out. It was the same kit that she was in for Black Canyon 100K. So they're like, we got it. We figured we know exactly who that is. Looks very familiar.
So we're coming up on the 22 minute mark of this race.
Yeah, we'll probably catch back up with Dylan sometime soon when he picks up the women and Alex with the men. But it is interesting, like you said, to note everyone's arm movements coming down. Some are almost running, some almost have their arms going the same direction at the same time. Some have their arms out to the side with some kind of aeroplane arms. And others aren't really sure what they're doing with their arms.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's a little bit, you throw those things out for balance. They're good counterweights to the rest of your body. But yeah, making it through. Again, this is the muddiest section of the course, so we're kind of teasing everyone at home, being like, look at this grossness, look how slippery it is, look how insane it is, and truly this is the only mud that they'll really experience out there today.
The rest of it is just going to be like running on California carpet.
Well, I picked up the runners yesterday around 16 miles, and I didn't see any of this mud at all.
There was Carson Klaus that just went through. He did the 50K yesterday, one of our doubler backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm calling it the chicken sandwich.
I love that. The chicken
Yes.
sandwich.
Matt, we've got Dylan, you said?
Yeah, it looks like maybe. Yeah.
Oh, look at that gorgeous
Hi, guys.
trail.
All right, so Varner's going to jump on with the lead pack here. We saw Patty out front with Nick and Liam on his wheel. We see 4th and 5th place coming up the road here. They're going to be coming around this bend. And then, Matt, you're going to want to throw it to Varner's camera.
Yep.
And they're going to hit the 680 trail and start
Are they
making their way up.
good and going?
Matt, is Varner's stream up and good?
Hopefully Varner's done his warm-up. Varner, you limber? You've done all your stretching?
Strides?
Yeah, how are those hamstrings, Varner?
He's got to unmute on his side.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're just kind of, at this point, razzing him.
I'm a
Yeah,
little worried.
boys!
I'm a little worried about Varner. You know, Dylan made it 20 minutes with the leaders yesterday, but these guys are absolutely flying. We'll see if if Varner's old legs can handle it.
So what do we think? Over under 20 minutes with the leaders?
I'm going to Varner's a gamer, and he knows Patty. There's a rivalry
boys.
there.
Here they are, Patty and Liam, shoulder and shoulder.
Stride for
Take it easy
stride.
on me.
Looking good, guys.
Varner already waving the white flag.
Beautiful day, beautiful day.
Looking strong.
Enjoy.
Liam looks very smooth.
Nick not far behind, same kind of gap.
Now, the thing with this is Liam, if punch for punch, he has a toolkit that Patty does not. However, Patty has experience, he's gritty, and he hates to lose. And so I think if he has enough fitness to hang with Liam, this could really be a barn burner.
Tell us about Liam's toolkit.
So Liam is, as I was mentioning earlier, he comes from a traditional cross-country and road background, but he was a state champion in Colorado for cross-country and in the 1,600 meters. He's a sub-4 miler. He did his first marathon. He debuted at CIM last year. Only ran a respectable 2:23, but with the marathon, it's an event that takes a little practice. But he has wheels, and on something like this, like what you're seeing right now, they're on packed hard dirt, which runs like concrete, and any pace that Patty throws down, even sub-5, Liam's going to feel comfortable. As he said earlier, he's ready for anything. Patty, on the other hand, he is a raw talent as a runner, but he just doesn't have maybe the pedigree that Liam does. However, he has experience in trail races. He has raced all over the world. He has been through every element. He's been through all the conditions.
He's suffered.
He has suffered. He knows what it feels like after the 90-minute mark, which Liam does not yet.
So are we thinking Liam's just biding his time behind Patty right now?
Liam is definitely biding his time. And as he mentioned to Liam, the announcer at the start line, he was going to be patient. And I am very impressed with that confidence and that maturity to say, hey, I'm not going to take it out, even though I know I could. Like, he could be a couple minutes ahead of Patty right now, feeling very smooth. But he's being mature and saying, hey, I'm going to have emotional control. I'm going to settle into the pace. And then I'm going to really let it rip when it matters.
And I think we just saw Liam take on a gel or get something
Yeah,
out
it
of
looked
his
like Liam
pocket.
was pulling gels out. We've got the just preeminent. We've got guests in the studio just running by to wave. Topher Gaylord, Mario Ferroli. Hi,
Legends.
boys. Legends. Varner is holding on right now with
Varner
the lead
just
men.
took the cam.
Yep. So
Yep.
just
About 2
filling in
minutes
our
ago.
studio
Patty
guests.
is trying to drop Varner. I think Patty would consider today a successful day if he dropped Varner more so than winning.
Probably.
Yeah.
They have had their duels at the Dipsy for sure, and I think that again, like, I don't want to anything we say to compliment Liam is not to discount Patty. They both bring different tools to the table. One of Patty's, I think, greatest races was actually like a 6K cross country race that he threw down regionally. I think that was a surprise to him of like what his actual capabilities as a runner are. But he does have that 100-mile experience. He is used to suffering. He has fallen apart and gotten back up. He knows what a death march is. There should be no death marching today in the 28K, but Liam, again, is the guy coming in with that more traditional running background, but is much newer to the trails.
Yeah. And this is going to run more like, basically time-wise, kind of like a 35K. And Patty does have experience with these kind of shorter trail races. He ran the inaugural Mammoth Trail Fest 26K, which he took 3rd place and in a pretty stacked field. But like we keep saying, he's just a gamer, and you can see that. He's leading Liam out, knowing that maybe Liam has the higher pedigree or fitness, but Patty's not scared.
We can also see as Paddy's navigating these trails that he's been on these trails before. He's picking good lines. He looks very smooth, and so I think that hometown knowledge is working to his advantage so far.
I was going to say, Dylan might be the mayor of Mill Valley, but I've been known to
we've
call
got
Patty
Tabor.
the trail czar.
The trails are.
I think Dylan's just picked up Tabor about mile 3.5.
And what did we say the over-under for Dylan hanging with Tabor was?
Oh, man, we probably should have an over-under.
Maybe
on that one, too.
25?
Yeah, Tabor, again, recently ran a 1:13 high half marathon. She's got leg speed. This course is going to suit her really, really well. She's a standout on the Golden Trail World Series. And we're going to just flip back and forth between our Varner camera with our lead men and our Debo cam with our lead women. Again,
It almost looks like Liam was about to pass Paddy back there.
I mean, the way he's looking right now, you can tell he wants to stretch those legs out, but he's just biding his time. Sometimes that's actually uncomfortable for a runner when you're behind someone and you want to be going faster, but he's being patient, displaying emotional control, and I really think that's going to play to his favor in the second half, because you got to remember, they are only 29 minutes into this race.
Yeah, and again, while we do have predictions as fast as like 1:39, 1:40 for finishing time today, like, they've got a ways to go, right? It was good to see Liam take on food there. I hope Patty is doing the same. Liam actually eating fairly early, right? He's probably more on that 20 to 25
Which is very impressive for a young athlete. Often they think, oh, I've only been running 30 minutes. I don't even take a gel. I'm not hungry. But
I ate food. I ate breakfast.
Yeah. But knowing how fast they're going, and they're going to be burning through their muscle glycogen and
also,
blood glucose very fast.
I mean, if Liam is behind with his heart rate kind of down, biding his time, now's a really good time to take on fuel, rather than when he might take the lead and be booking it a bit more.
Great shot of Tabor running through the
just
trees.
Flying.
Absolutely flying.
Yeah, I'm telling everyone, I feel very fortunate that Adidas Terex got to scoop Tabor
What
and
a pickup for
Eli
that couple
this winter.
to join the Terex crew.
Yeah, it's really cool. Got to spend some time with them at Black Canyon just a couple weeks ago, where again, Eli threw down in that insane 60K. Tabor threw it down in that insane Mesa half marathon. Just like two of the most talented, humble, hardworking humans on the planet, and they're both just exceptionally talented runners.
I love this. 30 minutes in, and Liam is just stuck to Patty's shoulder.
Yeah,
it does not bode well for Patty, but it's really showing some maturity from Liam's part.
And then we're just waiting for Nick Handel to like scoop up the carnage of these two. Absolutely, running the early miles blow for blow.
Yeah.
Which is another strategy to employ out there, right? Like if I was Nick, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna let these two dudes go run each other into the ground, and I'll be there when things fall apart.
And the reality, when they came through the splash zone, Nick was only 5-6 seconds back, which is nothing.
And even when Alex picked him up, we could pick the two leaders up right now. We could see Nick in the backdrop.
But you can even see Patty. Patty is a smooth runner. You would not think that he came from a lacrosse background, but he is just an incredibly smooth runner.
What do you think the approximate pace they're running right now?
So on these, and that's a good point. So let's break down Liam, the announcer's prediction. If he threw out, and I respect it, a 1:39 finish time. That's going to say for 17.3 miles, these runners are going to have to average 5:45 per mile with 4,000 feet of climbing. I'm just going to say that's not happening. However, for that to happen, you would have to be going probably 6:30, 6:45 pace uphill, 5-minute pace coming downhill to average out to about 5:45, which is not unrealistic, or it's not out of this world, but I just don't think it's going to happen on this day. I really think they're going to be closer to that 6-minute average. So on some of these flat and downhills, they are going to be running 5:15, 5:20 pace. And on the ups, they're going to be closer to 6:40, 6:50 pace.
We heard from Matt Daniels yesterday after the race, once his legs stopped seizing up, that he and Eli were dropping 440 miles at parts of the course yesterday.
And so right now in this, we're 32 minutes in. So all of this is basically net uphill. I believe on that first descent, we could see some sub-5s from them without a doubt.
Oof.
Yeah. It's when you are, honestly, like this dirt, you can see right there, it is bone dry. It runs like concrete. So when you're downhill with gravity in your favor, if you just let it go and you send it, it's pretty easy to run sub-5 for a man. Or Tabor, she could be running 5:20, 5:30 pace downhill.
Yeah, which we know is really comfortable for her again, right?
She just ran 5:35 pace for a half marathon.
Yeah, she's got wheels. And we do believe that Claire Rhodes started the race, and we do believe that she is in second place behind Tabor. We will get an official split from the Big Rock aid station, where we'll have Liam, our on-course correspondent. That will be around the 8.8 mile mark or so, and that will give us better identification on what's happening in the back of the men's top 10 and kind of who's in the podium fight for the women.
So it looks like Liam right there is sharing some words with Patty. And the cool thing about this is both of these men are running underneath their threshold. They're budgeting for an hour and 45 to 2 hour race. They're 32 minutes in. Liam's just taking maybe a half step up on him. Oh,
there's Nick right there.
With
right
them.
behind.
No, that's Nick Handel. Yep. And
Nick
he's
Handel
like,
takes
come
the
on,
lead.
boys.
He's like, you guys, this is pedestrian. Let's go.
And Liam goes with him. Is this when they drop the handle on Patty?
Drop the handle on Patty.
It's going to take a lot to drop Patty.
we do have, there's a kind of this inside joke because Nick Handle's a guy that has big dreams.
I didn't notice that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you did good. Drop the handle on them. But so Nick Handle is a guy who's got crazy ideas and finds a way to bring them to life. But that does mean that sometimes you're on an adventure with Nick Handle and Emma McCune. And we joke that when those adventures go sideways, you've been handled. So I think we've all experienced, if you live in the Bay and you're friends with Nick and Emma, getting handled at some point in time.
I do like the fact that Nick's kind of run his own race, so he didn't get caught up, well, as far as we know, from the start. And yeah, it might pay off.
The neat thing about this course is you can see, I mean, we'll call it above tree line, but there's such a lack of vegetation that you have 360-degree views of the entire bay. I wish we could have a drone out there because you would see this just expansive, like 100-mile stretch in every direction. But for the runners, while they're suffering uphill, they do just have this beauty around them, which makes the suffering a little more palatable.
I do question how much these front runners are taking into their surroundings, though.
You know, at this point, though, they are taking in a lot because, like I said, they're only 35 minutes into a 2-hour race, so that's 25%. You'll see them chatting back and forth.
We saw Patty like fully like just ham it up from the camera.
Because they know that they have a long ways to go, so they're very comfortable. Even though their legs are starting to burn on this climb, this is a tough climb. Their lungs are going to be pumping hard, but they are
Liam
still.
Looks just.
And Alex
cruisy.
did a good job there of showing a bit of the.
Alex is doing fantastic. Alex has stayed with them.
10 minutes on the clock for Alex.
Okay.
Or keeping track on that.
Bit, but yeah, right now, I mean, you did see Liam look over and talk to him a bit. I bet they have
Liam
discussed.
and Patty in the front.
You know, they're honestly right now probably just saying like, "Hey, like, what'd you guys do last night?" They're just chit chatting. It's going to be the final third of the race when the gloves come off. Right now, everyone's still friends.
Yeah, they're really cruising. And again, in fourth was Jeff Stern. The three of them are, putting time away from kind of that chase pack of probably 4, 5, and 6. And so that's got to feel really good just to have this, unit moving forward down the course. They're going to create a lot of distance because they are running together versus, that solo runner who's chasing. They will move much faster at a lower RPE, like that rate of perceived exertion. When we talk about like what do pacers do for performance, right? It's not aerodynamics, it's not biomechanical advantages. It's the fact that you don't feel like you're working as hard. And so Nick bridging to that group is actually really important because he doesn't feel like he's working as hard.
So this is fascinating right here. Scotty Bowes just took over Tabor Hemming, and he is another sub 4 miler in the race, and he has one of the fastest, actually, I would say, I know there was a lot of talk around Bumby before Black Canyon, but Scotty is one of the fastest runners to ever enter the trail space. He has a 27:48 10K PR, which is mind-blowing. That's faster than Bumby, Andrew Bumbelow. He has a 101:30 half marathon, but what's neat about this is it shows how dominant Tabor is on the trails. Like, I'm going to say it. She's going to beat Scotty by the end. I think she's going to roll him up, but it's absolutely incredible to see how the trail space is so much different, and it takes a different skill set, different pedigree. But it's just put that in context, like how fast Taylor's running. She's running with a sub 4 miler right now.
Yeah, Tabor is once again just epically talented. Actually, fun story about Tabor. In in September this year, running Kodiak, we had Andy Newell, who was a U.S. ski team member for a very, very long time. Tabor and I, growing up as cross-country skiers, looked up to Andy Newell, thought he was just the coolest thing in the world. Andy Newell was there to run Kodiak, wanting to try to get a spot for OCC, has never run a 50K before, and Tabor got to pass him in like the last 5K of the race, and she was like, she's like, I'm going to text my dad about this later, that I got to beat Andy Newell in a 50K.
Fantastic.
So one thing I think is interesting seeing is Tabor's running with headphones in. What do you think she's listening to?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she listened to country beats, maybe.
Yeah,
some
lo-fi.
I was thinking maybe more like Freetrail podcast or Trail Society or something like that.
Yeah, she's just listening to me, is what it is.
Yeah,
tuned in the whole time. No, I think one thing to mention about both Tabor and Eli is that they are legitimate ranch hands. When they're not training, they work their family ranch. She was teasing me yesterday that if I came to hang out with them, she'd be like, "What are you guys doing?" Like, just like kind of giving them a hard time about like the manual labor that they literally fill like the rest of their day with in and around their training.
Wait, so was she saying you're not up to it?
No, she said that I would just be like, you guys, come on, you got to get it together. But yeah, incredibly talented athletes, and we talked
I
about
think
in
she's
studio.
underestimating the work behind being the
Cowboy
broadcast.
strong is what Adam Mary called Eli Hemming yesterday.
She seems to be underestimating the work that goes into the broadcasts.
It's neat that with our back to Tabor. That's what a great shot. And this is a good picture of most of the course. It's wide open fire road. There are some beautiful single track sections, but it is so runnable. You don't see many rocks out there.
Speaking of rocks, how long do you reckon before the men come through Big Rock aid station?
Yesterday they hit the 8-mile mark in 55 minutes.
Okay.
So probably in about another 10 minutes?
It's probably going to be 53.
Yeah, that's my
54
question.
minutes.
You know, based on how fast Matt and Eli took the 50K out yesterday, we were like, man, what was their 26K split?
That is a good question. We need a statistician on that. Where's Fireball?
Aid Station Fireball. How fast did they split the 26K yesterday?
But on these flatter, rolly sections, Tabor's going to be cranking low 6 minutes easily. You know, the funny thing that I found yesterday as I was running alongside Lottie, I could not turn off the live feed. So we were listening to you and Adam talk about her on the stream. And we're like, okay, don't say anything bad. And it's very interesting because she's crushing. And she's like, okay, they're talking about how I'm looking while I'm in the moment. And that was a very fascinating dynamic.
Yeah, Christina could hear us too at one point, and we were talking about her like switching into hiking to like eat a gel, and we're like, that's really smart. Like she's moving really well. Like she's gonna hike for a little bit to get this gel in on this steep section, and then she's gonna turn it back over. And it was like she was like, yeah, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm efficient. I can do this.
I believe we just got a thumbs up from Varner on the feed. I don't know if that means that he's almost done and he's giving us the thumbs up, or if he actually feels fantastic.
Come on, Varner's got at least another 4 minutes, and he's got 20 minutes in him.
So this lead pack, I believe it's still Liam at the front, Nick in second, Nick in the front, Liam in second, and Patty in third. All three of them have such a different background and history with the sport, but they all have international experience.
Yeah, no, they are all mega talented. They've all spent a lot of time racing on the trails in Europe. Again, we said Nick ran how many 50Ks last year?
7 50Ks.
And you said he got better with each one.
He got faster, or he improved his performance on every single one, with the exception of he got 11th at OCC, but compared to the other 50Ks,
it was a
stacked
phenomenal
field.
performance, and he actually ran the back half of that. We think like had one of the stronger performances for the day on it too. So just so talented.
Tabor is sitting on Scotty. That's a good lead out man.
I reckon it won't be long before she passes him with the speed she's going. Not to say Scotty's not going fast.
Yeah, I've talked to Scotty a lot about his transition into trails, and he's just really had a lot of admiration for the trail scene because he had the idea that coming over from the track and the road, it would be transferable a little bit easier, but it really speaks to the specificity. If you aren't able to get on the terrain that you're going to be racing on, it doesn't matter how fit you are. If you don't have that technical downhill ability, if you don't have the ability to problem solve in the moment, it doesn't matter how fit you are. There's so many other challenges that present themselves in a trail race. 159 through 28K is what Aid Station Fireball said.
And you can see
very
Nick's
fast.
taking the lead again. Nick's descending. Look at him.
And so what's also fascinating is Nick, he ended his season in 2023 with a win at the Dipsy.
The quad Dipsy.
And he ran the third fastest time ever, only behind the cameraman following him right now, Alex Varner, and Rod Farvard. And so he was only seconds, I believe a couple seconds behind Rod Farvard's time, but he is one of those Bay Area local experts on these trails, and he knows how to send up and downhill on these fire roads so quickly.
Yeah, no, just incredibly talented. Patty moving around Liam there. I think, to be fair, like they're on this downhill section, and that might be where Liam struggles the most in comparison to Patty and Nick, who just have more trail experience, more Bay Area trail experience. They're going to move really smoothly on anything that feels, remotely technical or a little bit, having to just find rhythm a bit more. They're going to feel a bit more natural in that terrain versus like if we gave him just like long, grindy fire road climb after climb, Liam's kind of raw talent, I feel like, for that specific terrain would shine through.
You know, I think you make a really good point there, where if you look at the course profile, the final descent from Big Rock Ridge is really punctuated by a few small, grindy rollers. And I think if the two men in front, Patty and Nick, are not able to separate themselves far enough from Liam by that point, I think Liam's going to be in a very good position to overtake them, because those little punchy climbs won't be that bad, and it's all fire road. It's not like, what were we calling it? The nasty section of the 50K?
The Whopper.
The Whopper. Since there is not, I feel like if we had the Whopper as the final descent, it would play into the favor of the hands of a runner like Patty or Nick. But because it is more fire road, even though it's a little punchy rollers, I think Liam is going to be positioned to finish stronger if he's still in contention with 4 miles to go.
Yeah, no, and again, got to give a mad shout out to our camera runners out there. Hard right-hand turn. They're saying, Brett Hornig's in the chat saying, come on, Varner, don't let the elastic snap. So
I would say, don't let your hamstring snap, Varner.
Varner has just passed the 20-minute mark with the men. So he's hanging tough in there.
Yeah.
Varner said he was training for this day.
And as we see, Liam's taking the lead again. So yeah, what you were saying, Tim, is proving true. It is looking like Liam's really good on the uphill.
Patty O'Leary is a fan favorite across the globe. If you do not know this gentleman, you do need to look into him. He's one of the best personalities in the sport.
You can probably hear us loud and clear right now.
He embodies trail running, the essence of trail running, where you could be suffering, you could be bleeding, you could be blacking out, but he's going to have a smile, he's going to crack a joke, he's going to make you feel good about what's happening. Another great shot of Tabor. And these are the nice single track areas that are punctuated between the fire road sections.
Yeah, and we should mention that kind of what we believe is going on behind Tabor, because Tabor has a gap over the rest of the women's field. We're not going to see them shot for shot, because we've got one camera for the men, one camera for the women. But what we believe behind Tabor is going to be Claire Rhodes representing the North Face in that pink and purple kit, and then Sylvie Abel in the pink crop and the black shorts. We saw them both come through the mud section. So we do believe that it's Tabor Hemming, Claire Rhodes, Sylvie Abel.
But we'll be able to confirm that in probably about 20 minutes.
Yeah, once they get through that Big Rock aid station. And we also they'll run into our on-course correspondent, Liam, right before the Big Rock aid station as well. So we will have camera from him eventually as our runners make it. Ideally, he's going to try to make it up to the aid station. So we will have words from Liam on course as the men and women make their way to him.
So I don't know how decisive this is, but for the first time, Paddy has fallen back quite a bit from Nick and Liam. Are you going to catch them, Paddy?
We can heckle through the mic sometime, you know?
Yeah, Patty may be able to hear us, and if so,
that's what I thought.
Patty, don't let the elastic stop. Ah, he can hear us. Patty, you're looking fantastic.
Come on, Patty.
Yeah, you have them on the descents.
So Nick and Patty, we don't believe have ever raced head to head before.
Really?
Yeah, and
no.
He's like, no.
They've raced head to head twice.
And are you about to let Nick beat you today again, Patty?
See, yeah. Patty's pulling the old rope-a-dope. He's just he's giving them a little slack to hang themselves, and then he's going to pull them in.
Patty, I wonder, actually we have a new head-to-head feature on Fantasy Freetrail where we can look at when two runners have duked it out. So I'm going to try to get some tea on the old Patty O'Leary, Nick Handel rivalry to see who's going to owe who what at the end of this race.
Now, with Tabor, I mean, she is so smooth through these sections. What do you think with Claire? Claire's typically more of a mountain athlete, and Tabor obviously has a lot of wheels, but do you think this course is going to play to one or the other? You know, Claire has run mountain marathon. She's done a lot of mountainous 50K. She's a ski mountaineer.
I think she probably would have enjoyed the Whopper yesterday.
I think Claire would have, yeah. She would probably like 20 miles of the Whopper.
Did she say why she was running the 28K?
I did not get that from her, but I would assume, just looking at the rest of her season, this is a great opener for a lot of these athletes coming from colder winters. Like Claire lives up in Reno, and Tabor obviously, and Eli are in Colorado. When you're coming from a winter area, just kind of like putting your toe back in the water with something more palatable like a 28K is nice, because it's very difficult to get in the running fitness when you're buried in snow and you're cold, you're out on the ice. And so I think, talking to Eli after the finish yesterday, he said, man, I have not run that much trail in 3 months because they've just been on snow and ice.
And it looks like
Varner has been dropped.
Varner, good work, man.
But
Varner-
Paddy hasn't.
Thumbs
Hey,
down.
that's 24
Varner, you did
minutes, Varner.
fantastic.
24 minutes.
That's way longer than Dylan lasted yesterday.
No,
But Paddy's still lasting.
you
He's
did
still
the
hanging
Lord's
in there.
work, Varner. We appreciate you.
He's keeping the camera as they crest that.
Yeah.
We're back to the Debo cam on Tabor Hemming, who's leading the charge right now on the women's side.
Looking so smooth.
I'm not sure if you heard that, but yeah, the over-under on Varner with the men. Varner has 24 minutes.
That's very, very impressive. They were moving fast. No warm-up for that guy.
Nope.
We do splits from yesterday from Eli Hemming going through Fox Hollow aid station about 8.4 miles into the race. Obviously different aid station than where these athletes are headed. These athletes are headed into the Big Rock aid station. Just from a matter of perspective, though, that was about it took 55 minutes for the men, for Eli and Matt Daniels to get into Fox Hollow. So we're coming right up around the 50-minute mark right now. And the question is kind of in that regard, when will our guys hit that aid station?
And that descent down into Fox Hollow is very smooth. So I think that's going to be one of those sections that the men are going to be running sub 5-minute pace if they're still together, which they will be.
Yeah, they don't hit that Fox Hollow aid station today because that was down in Fairfax. So that's where these courses differentiate. Yesterday they ran a descent down Fox Hollow into Fairfax and then looped back up onto this section of the course. And then there's a turn right at the end where our 28K will not go to the Whopper, and they'll just go down the fire road into the community and finish at the park. I don't know, about a half mile or so from where we're sitting right now in the in Freetrail HQ, also known as the Bowman's Garage, here in Marinwood, California, up in the northwest part of Marin County. Tabor Hemming looking so smooth on these climbs.
And look how it's just a bluebird day out there. And as Dylan was mentioning, it's a little cooler than yesterday. Although the start line was cold for the 50K, it warmed up pretty quickly, and we had a lot of people suffering from cramping and dealing with just kind of salt-crusted faces. But being that we're 50 minutes in, approaching the 9 o'clock hour, Tabor looks smooth, she's controlled, and being close to halfway through, I would imagine she's building a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, just kind of, I feel like these are good tune-up races. Yesterday I misspoke. I said, I wonder if the Hemmings are going to Zagama because we've got a lot of athletes going there for the May race. But they're both going to race the 50K at Canyons at the end of April, and then it's a team event for us, so we'll have a lot of Adidas Terex teammates over there. And then they are going to be at Broken Arrow as well in June. So we'll have the Hemmings are staying stateside for the early part of their season, which is kind of fun that we get to experience them racing on home soil so much.
And Eli said that his focus of the year is OCC, which, talking to him after his first 50K 2 years ago at Way Too Cool,
he was like, never again.
He said never again. However, I knew, I could see it in his eyes, that once Eli figures out the 50K, we got to put the world on notice. And
I think we're gonna see him also probably by the end of the season, even maybe finish his season out somewhere with 100K or an 80K, just because I do think he's longer distance curious. He's obviously so good at that trail marathon to 50K distance. He's so incredibly strong. The 60K he ran 2 weeks ago at Black Canyon, so strong. So I do think that we'll see some of these athletes slowly work their way up in distance or run a really nice mixed season too, do an early season, spring half marathon build, run some short stuff early, run a fall 100K, etc. I think we're going to see a lot of athletes kind of mix and match those distances a lot more proficiently. But right now, Tabor Hemming making her way up the climb. It looks like we've got a camera back on. Is this Levi?
I was going to say, it looks like Levi Miller.
I was going to say,
yep, that's him. He gave us a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, Levi
Levi
Miller.
can hear us. So yesterday at the start-finish area, Levi looked over and saw Liam doing dynamic stretches, and he said, what is he doing? Why is he bringing that to the trail space? And I was like, well, I think he's learning that these young bucks are bringing some fresh legs. But Levi is an absolute crusher. Used to be a Bay Area resident, one of the local legends.
Yeah, no, local legends. He's got the 4th fastest time still up Tam, only behind folks like Eddie Owens, Jim Walmsley, and Galen Burrell, all super, super fast athletes, particularly good climbers. Really, really impressive runs by all those folks. Hasn't raced a whole lot. I think he ran Grandma's Marathon maybe 2 years ago, but he is incredibly fast, and he's not a big racer though, but lived in Fairfax for a long time. He's out here with his little boy as well, who's just like the cutest little blonde thing I've seen running around in fuzzy hoodies.
And Liam himself looks like he steps out of a catalog every time I see him. Yeah. Like maybe an LL Bean catalog. He's a tall drink.
Stay for the running commentary, or come for the running commentary. Stay for Tim and I talking about how everyone in the sport is gorgeous.
You're gorgeous.
Good morning. We have a special guest in studio.
Good morning.
Hello there.
Hello.
How are you?
Great. How's it going in here?
Oh, so good. So we're screen now. So we've got a wide shot of the studio. We've got Anna Gibson back in studio with us. Anna, how was your day?
Oh, it's going great so far. It's beautiful out.
Did you get out on course at all yesterday?
I did not actually.
It was beautiful out, so hopefully you did something fun instead.
Just got some people racing today, so I did a shakeout run with them, got them ready to run. My boyfriend and a couple friends are out there, so bunch of friends. Yeah, so it's great. Excited to be watching though.
Yeah, we were joking that it feels like the first day of spring too, and I know that you're a new Bay Area resident, but it does really feel like spring has finally arrived.
Yeah, I mean, this day is gorgeous.
Yeah. So you're a new Bay Area resident. Tell me about that.
I am, yeah.
I was going to say, Tim, do you guys know each other?
You
met at Mammoth,
yes.
right? Good.
She graced our presence at Trailfest last year with an incredible 4th place finish in a stacked international field. And definitely I've been a big fan of yours. I love seeing the young athletes like yourself coming over from the track and the roads and experimenting with the trails. It's really neat to see the crossover.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it was great to be there. Mammoth Trail Fest is definitely one of the key races on my calendar this year too. So yeah, super fun environment.
But what brought you to the Bay?
I mean, I just needed a place that had mild weather year round to train, and this is like one of the best places to do that. I'm running track and trail, so I needed a place that I could train for both, and this place has a wealth of resources and community.
We have some pretty tracks here. I don't know if you know that, but you can like look at Tam and run in a circle if you really want to.
Look at Tabor just send this downhill. The turnover she has, forward lean, she is cruising. She's going to, so the gentleman in front of her is Scotty Bowes, the sub 4 miler and 27:48 10K runner I mentioned earlier. I would not be surprised if she catches him and passes him on the downhill. She is just cruising this.
Yeah, picking a good line. You and Tabor both run on the Golden Trail World Series together. Obviously, you are starting on. You're going to start your season with track kind of on the forefront. We've got USA's coming up. It's an Olympic year, but tell us how excited you are to get back out and do this kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, so excited! Yeah, definitely great. And honestly, actually, the first time I raced Tabor was on the track, so we kind of share that origin. And I've been a huge fan of Tabor's for a long time as a competitor and as a friend. So. Yeah, it's great to see her out here.
We're stealing all your girls. You can't have them back. They're ours now.
It's hard to go back.
Yeah, it is. I feel like we do have kind of the best, as Dylan would say, best sport in the world. # better than Boston.
# better than Boston.
But, I do think that it is really cool that the Bay Area community can come together in a way. We've got a bunch of Impalas out racing this weekend too, and the Impalas are a women's running group in the city. They had a lot of women at Olympic trials and the marathon. If you're at the track at Kezar, you're going to see the Impalas ripping around there doing workouts, and a bunch of those gals are out here racing the 28K too, which is really kind of cool to see those two communities bridge more and more, and particularly in like kind of that 20 to 30K distance. Sounds good. Liam, can you hear us?
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to hear you when these guys break the sound barrier as they go past. I am not kidding. Compared to the speed of Eli Hemming yesterday, these guys are significantly faster coming through. Wow.
Oh,
Look at this. So you can see him coming
goodness.
down now right into the big rock aid station. Paddy's definitely in the lead. Liam right on his heels with Nick just behind him.
What's the cut, Paddy?
He's looking good.
This is that dipsy energy that Paddy was talking about.
Looking so solid. Yes, guys, let's keep it going. Oh, it's going. See that? Paddy,
Smiles
the
on both their
consummate pro.
faces.
Let's go. Let's go. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here with Nick.
Liam, did you
Whether
say
or not you
Paddy
can
did
reel him
the thumb across the throat?
I didn't, but I said he's the consummate pro.
Oh, I thought you said he drew his thumb across his throat.
Oh my gosh, that's the least Paddy O'Leary thing I've ever
I know.
heard. No,
I mean, maybe.
He said, "How's it going?" and gave me a little thumbs up and a
Okay.
cheeky wink and a smile in true
Yeah,
Paddy O'Leary style.
I was gonna be shocked.
We thought
Yeah,
Paddy had just
can you
been
imagine?
dropped on that.
Well, we're just gonna start a rumor.
Paddy's out for blood.
Paddy, call him Paddy the Killer.
Paddy the Trail Czar.
They were
Paddy the
absolutely
Killer.
flying
So
down that.
we do have a shot over to the other side of the valley, same as yesterday. So you should be able to see them blowing out of the, basically where you see the trail on the screen is right out of that tunnel under the road.
And that tunnel is a little tricky as the runners come through the aid station, which they will not stop at, I guarantee. They will hammer down the
Here they
50
come.
foot. There they are, 50-foot
There's
cement
Nick, look.
section. Flying.
So
Oh,
Nick's made a move
Nick's
here.
back
Nick
at the
is
front
ahead.
now.
Yeah, so Nick made up several seconds in that 300-meter stretch.
My
Can we just talk
goodness.
about how beautiful this course is?
It's a perfect day.
So we are
Oh
hitting
my
the
goodness.
1 hour mark right now with a trio of gentlemen. The three musketeers sending their way through, making their way towards the next big climb.
Who's the
Nick's
poor?
really making a move here. Look at that gap.
Who's the poor
The cameraman.
camera person hanging
Oh,
on? to them
no,
when
that's
they-
Matt Seidel.
Oh, Matt
So
Seidel.
Matt Seidel,
Not a poor camera person.
fresh
Very
off his Black
fast.
Canyon, making the race for that. He's helping to make this race 2 weeks later in Marin.
Let's give Matt Seidel a bit of airtime for a second, though. So last night, Matt flew in from Utah. He's been skiing all week over in Utah. He literally landed back in the bay at 10:30 p.m. and then was here this morning at 6:45, ready to go.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm slightly disappointed in Matt that he is not wearing his banana costume.
Yeah, didn't he film at Mammoth in a banana
He
costume?
filmed Trailfest in a banana costume, running downhill with the women.
I had no idea who that was.
That was him.
That's
Oh
Matt
my
Seidel.
gosh, what a legend.
So you know him.
I know him as the Banana Man, and I was so delirious when I found him on the course. I was running
Yeah.
for my life.
That's Banana Boy.
So here comes our next athlete. Any idea who this is? I can't see that far.
Probably Jeff Stern.
Oh, nice.
Is it a gray
I don't know.
singlet?
It is. No, it's not a singlet. It's a shirt. He's way shorter than Jeff. It's definitely not Jeff. Whoa, he's flying. He is like picking up the pace. He's coming in
moving.
faster than Paddy and Liam were.
Give us a bib number.
Bib 798. Yeah, buddy. Oh, it is. So fast. My gosh, it's Jeff.
It is
It was
Jeff.
a singlet. You know what threw me?
That's the sleeve
The tat.
tattoo. Yeah, you
The
thought
tat.
it was a shirt. It's not. It's a tattoo.
So Jeffrey Stern.
Jeff is moving though.
Yeah, and Jeff has experience. He's been racing for a long time. He's definitely a local. He knows these trails. He's the new race director of the
Headlands 50K and Headlands
26K.
Are you gonna race that, Anna?
Yes, I'm looking forward
Heck
to it.
yeah!
Part of the Golden Trail
You're gonna
World
know
Series this
every
year.
inch of that course.
Okay, so Nick is extending. He's putting a little gap on Liam. Just a couple seconds, maybe 10, 15 meters. But this is demonstrating his confidence. He knows these trails. He's saying, Liam, I respect everything you can do, but this is my home. These are my trails. And if you want this, you're going to have to take it from my hands.
Yeah, Nick is charging.
We have eyes on F2.
This is Claire Rhodes.
Claire Rhodes crushing.
And that new pink on purple North Face kit,
I'm
which
glad it's
I
not white.
love. I
Yes.
love that it's not white on black.
Yep.
Got the thumbs up. Claire Rhodes looking strong, running fast.
Oh, yeah.
Does this mean Dylan decided that he could move back from Tabor?
Yep.
Oh, this is Varner. Varner's picked up Claire. Awesome job, Varner. Thank you for the thumbs up.
Yep.
Running right behind Claire Rhodes again. Claire, Alaskan, but lives in Reno. Super, super solid runner. You said that you saw her early yesterday, and she wasn't sure if she was going to race today, but
Yep. Yeah, she was on the fence. She said that she was maybe nursing a little niggle, but obviously it was something that she determined with her team that was good to go. And I'm happy to see her out here because she's the one in the field that can really give Tabor a run for her money. Obviously Tabor is taken out quick, but this woman right here, Claire, is an absolute competitor. She is fast. She has a lot of mountain experience. She has run the mountain marathon up in Seward, Alaska. She is an absolute crusher, and I think that we'll see if she has enough real estate to kind of close that gap, which I think is possible. But when we talk to her at the finish, if she's unable to, she might say, "I just wanted more real estate or more technical descents."
Yeah. I mean, truly a mountain athlete who's found that she can rip the kind of the sub ultra distance apart. So really excited to see what she can do. She was part of that kind of North Face development team last year, and then officially signed on kind of fully as one of their kind of global athletes this year. So super excited to see her representing that pink and purple. Camera back on Tabor Hemming now as she flies towards Liam, our on-course correspondent, and that Big Rock aid station. I want to see if I've got
It'll be neat once they come through there. We will. Oh, okay, that's a great shot right there. Tabor has overtaken Scotty Bowes. They are making the turn, a left turn here, and then a quick little right turn down through a gate into the aid station. And again, it is likely Tabor will not stop, and then we'll pick them up on the other side of the road there as they climb the trail. This is going to give us an idea of how the distance, the gap between Tabor and Claire.
Yeah, no, we will. We will actually get a split there. So splits from Big Rock aid station. Jeff Stern, just to give an update, because we did see him come through there, sitting in fourth position. He is about 3 minutes back of that lead trio of men. They came through the Big Rock aid station, 59:30 elapsed as a trio, and then Jeff Stern, 62:24 elapsed on the clock there when he came through. So I think our women are also running well within the top 10 men, is my guess. Behind Jeff Stern, Gordon Giannini made it through there, 104 on the clock. Just behind him, Levi Miller, and about 20 seconds back from them, Ryan Hoke. So there's a good chase pack in that kind of 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if anyone blows up in that top 3 men's group, we do have a solid chase pack of guys that will be looking to make their moves onto the podium.
This is a great shot of Claire coming down, and you can see how rutted the fire road is. However, if you pick your line, all you need is about an 18-inch wide strip of dirt, and that's what they're finding right there on the right side. And again, this is what we call the California carpet out here in Marin. You can just send it. Okay, Claire, so she's got to be within 90 seconds of...
Yeah, do we have audio on Liam? We don't have audio on Liam, just visual.
So they're coming through, though. They're only 6 and 7 minutes behind the lead men through this aid station. Is that right?
Yeah, they're really, really tight. We'll get an official split here. So Tabor's running in 9th overall, came through in 65:34 elapsed. So yeah, she is 6 minutes back of the lead men there, sitting in 9th overall. Ross Monroe came through just ahead of her at that aid station by about 15 seconds. So yeah, running in that ninth position.
I want to see if you can hear me now back in the studio.
Liam, we can. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so I'm watching Tabor now questing off over the sightline of the ridge. And interestingly, Claire will have been able to see Tabor. Whether or not she realizes it's her, if she had glanced over coming down past my spot here, she will have been able to see how close or how far she is.
Yeah, that must have been 90 seconds.
I think you were hearing me is that Jeff, who is so close to that front pack, was just behind the point where they'd crested the sight line. So he actually has no visual for a little while on where that front pack is. So it'll be interesting to see whether Jeff, is really chasing down without knowing exactly where that lead pack is, or if he's just going to kind of, hold on to his race and see what happens.
Yeah, they are. I mean, those little lines of sight, you're not out of sight, out of mind, or you just missed it and you didn't get to see them.
Yeah, Jeff definitely won't have seen that front pack by a few seconds, but Claire will have definitely seen Tabor if she looked up. which, yeah, well, I mean, I see her now heading off over the other side, and we'll have to see. Dylan looked absolutely gassed. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well, it sounds like we actually have Dylan. It sounds like we actually have Dylan in our ears, so we're gonna try to throw to his audio as well.
Amazing. We have our next mail coming through as well right now.
Dylan, you're muted on your end. There we go, buddy.
Hey guys.
Hey, nice work, team.
There's the big rock. Cockle doodle doo. Have a great shred. Oh my goodness. What a perfect day here at the Big Rock Aid Station. I'm proud that I was able to hang with Tabor there for 4 or 5 miles. She's absolutely crushing it. Claire looks great too, maybe 90 seconds back.
Yeah, exactly
So
90
anyway,
seconds basically. Maybe just
Yeah.
140 or something. Very tight.
Yeah, incredible. It's just a perfect day up here. Great energy at Big Rock. I got my neighbor here, Tom. Yeah, Marinwood showed up.
The mayor.
Anyway, I'm going to jump in the truck and head to the finish line, but thank you guys. I was listening to you the whole way. It's incredible. Thank you.
We'll see you soon, Debo.
Now I got a question for you, Anna. We have our front 2 women, Tabor leading Claire by about 90 seconds. From your experience in this kind of stuff, would you rather be the hunter or the hunted halfway through the race like this?
Oh, I'd rather be the hunter. And I think this is a really interesting course, particularly for this reason, because they're going in and out of sections of being able to see each other and having a glimpse if they look up in that moment. And then other moments where they're just almost alone, like they might have a camera person with them, but they're almost out. It might just feel like they're out for a hard trail run. So I think it's a really interesting kind of challenge that they're going through. But yeah, I wonder if Tabor in this moment knows that Claire can see her or not, because she might not have looked back at all.
It's likely that she doesn't know how close she is, and she may not look at it. I agree with you. I would rather be the hunter. There's a lot of anxiety when you know someone's behind you. And when Claire is picking up these little visuals of Tabor, I think it's going to just fuel her confidence as they enter this next section, which we should talk about after the Big Rock Aid Station. It's about a 3-mile climb, maybe 1,100 feet of gain.
Come on, buddy.
Steady. So it's maybe 3 to 400 feet per mile or so.
It looks like less lines of sight though in this
less
section.
lines of sight with the trees. So this is where, to Anna's point, Claire probably had a visual of Tabor coming into the aid station and across the road. However, Tabor will have no idea where Claire is.
This is shaping up to be a great race. I think it's going to be an exciting one. And how they feel going into this climb too, that's going to really determine what happens here.
And then following the climb, they have 5.5 miles of downhill with some little punchy rollers. But it's, kind of have to jockey for position. So we're back to the men's leaders here. It looks like Nick Handel is, again, pulling the field out from the front.
What's up? Get it done. You're pushing.
Liam is likely hot on his heels. Oh, he's gapped him a bit. Look at this. Nick is throwing down on the climb.
Yeah, it seems like Nick is trying to make a move here, which would be a mega performance if Nick pulls off a win here today in a great field. He can lord it over Patty for
local bragging rights
for indefinitely, but also like showing up and going like toe to toe with someone like Liam in a 28K should be really confidence boosting for him.
And Nick is one of those guys where I view him very similar as Eli Hemming, in that once he figures out the trail scene, America has a problem. And he is going to absolutely dominate. And right now, he's probably thinking Liam is a sub-4 miler. He has incredible wheels, but this is my home turf. I can gap him. And if he breaks him on the climb, it's going to be very hard for Liam to catch him back up on the downhill.
Yeah. Hey, Liam, I think we're going to try to check in with you before we let you head off to the finish so that you don't miss the action down there. But it sounds like we've got a few more women that have come past you.
Yeah, women's 3 through 5 have all come through, and they're really close together, actually. One thing that I will say about the Big Rock Aid Station today, the pace at which all of these competitors are coming through is significantly faster than yesterday. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
that's the Big Rock energy.
right? It's, obviously it's a shorter course, it's a faster course, but yeah, like even just on this short stretch here that we've got, maybe this like quarter mile, the pace that they're coming down is significantly faster through the top 20 men and through that top 5 women. So I am going to bail out of here as quick as I can, because I do think they're going to be getting into that finish ridiculously quick, and I'll be in a lot of trouble if I miss that. We'll keep a camera up here, keep watching as those next 5 ladies come through, and yeah, I'm going to go get into the finish line, and I'll see you there.
Sounds good, Liam. See you soon. So just looking at the Big Rock aid station splits, I believe that we probably are having an issue with Sylvie Abel's chip, because I do think that she's part of that top 5 group. We did identify her early on. She was 5th. Okay, so we do think that we do have official splits of our top 5 women through that Big Rock aid station. Tabor Hemming, who's on your screen right now, is in the lead. She came through 1:05:34 elapsed. Claire Rhodes in that pink and purple North Face kit came through in 1:07:15 elapsed. And then there are 3 women basically right together within 30 seconds of each other. That's Becca Lohman of Mill Valley, Samantha Diaz, and Sylvie Abel. So they are crushing 3, 4, 5. I just saw the Rock On sign there. Is Samantha one of your homies?
She is, yeah. Sam is she's visiting from Jackson, which is where I'm from, and she dates my high school coach and was a training partner for me, has been for the last 10 years. So
amazing.
It's great to see her up and out here. And I know she actually is a little bit sick and wasn't necessarily feeling her best, but she's excited just to give it a shot. So it's great to see her crushing.
Yeah, there is. There some Jackson folks came over. I know Rachel Long came over as well. I was like, oh, you guys are all coming smack out of winter to try to run some California carpet. Bold strategies.
It's very difficult, as Eli and Tabor were mentioning, coming from snow and ice and then hopping on to this packed out dirt, sunny skies. Your legs and your skin have not seen the sun in possibly months, but it can feel so refreshing and rejuvenating.
Yeah, and then want to give, just kind of recapping our top. We got another woman coming down here too, so we'll keep getting those splits updated from the Big Rock Ridge aid station. But the top 10 men through there: Patty O'Leary, Nick Handel, Liam, 1, 2, 3 all together. Though Nick is making a move at this point, it seems, trying to break away from Liam and Patty. Jeff Stern then leads a chase pack that includes Gordon Giannini, Levi Miller, Ryan Hoke, and then there's a little bit of a gap to Ross Monroe. Bigger gap because we got Tabor slotted in there, Scott Bowes and Mason Weber rounding out the men's top 10. Officially still have 5 women through that aid station. I do think 6 and 7 were coming in soon. So as soon as we get those splits through Big Rock, we'll update you with women 6 through 10. I want to go race now.
I know.
Although I ran yesterday afternoon after being in studio all day, and it was
tough to stretch out your legs, huh?
So hard. It's the slowest 4 miles of my life. I just shuffled around the perimeter of Golden Gate Park.
That's where I'm glad that doing the video work, I snuck in 14 miles without even knowing it, because I was just trying to keep up with Eli and the other, even Lottie. I was trying not to get dropped by her.
I will say doing camera work for 100Ks is probably the best one to do, because it's you're moving well, but you're not sprinting by any means. They're running efficiently, and so you feel you don't feel like you're running funny. And so when we did a bunch of kind of rogue filming at Canyons 100K last year for the golden ticket chase, I got to run with the lead women.
Look at this gentleman rocking a Trail Fest hat.
Nice. You got marketing everywhere.
I love to see that. The pink and green.
We saw that actually. Nikki, my really good friend Nikki Burma, was over at Tarawera, rocking her Mammoth Trail Fest hat
in New Zealand. And she crushed. She broke 13 hours.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's coming back for the Mammoth Triple because she has no self-control.
For the 3rd time.
Yeah. She's an OG love of Mammoth.
Yeah. No, we love Nikki.
She might love your hair too, but I think it's probably Mammoth.
Nikki's fantastic. No, it's been neat to see so many Pacific Northwesterns come down.
Yeah. She's like you. She's like, I'll be your PT. Just let me know. Invite me to something. I'll be the PT for everyone.
Shout out right here, Ren Walkenhorst. My boyfriend.
What? Yeah, Ren.
Go Ren.
Hey. Big time.
I'm glad we
caught him.
Do
you guys train together?
And our homie Will Hawkins also here in the black shirt, visiting from Bend. 2 peas in a pod.
Literally, they're within 5 seconds of each other.
That's
too,
fantastic.
So that tracks.
Okay, this is a great shot of Tabor. So again, they are in the middle of a 3-mile net uphill climb, climbing just over 1,000 feet to the high point of the course. Excuse me.
This is just stunning. It looks like it could be a trail running photo shoot. Just the grass and the sky and
Yeah, that contrast, the blue and the green. These are those perfect days as an athlete where it was nice and cool at the start. It's going to be warm, but for the leaders here, they're going to be generating more heat than the environment around them, and thankfully they're within 40 minutes of a finish.
I love that folks are out cheering today. What a perfect morning to be out there on the trails.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1:19 almost on the clock. We're projecting. Anna, initially when you said 1:40 on Friday, we were all like, no way, she's crazy. And now like people are like 1:39.
Okay, actually after yesterday, I was feeling pretty good about my 28K predictions.
And what was your prediction?
Well, my prediction was that the top men were 140 today.
Okay.
And everyone was scoffing at that. Dylan said 158, and I felt like maybe I'd made a mistake.
Well, no, I scoffed at 139. 140 is reasonable. 139, I'm going to tell Liam to no, but I respect Anna's 140.
I think my guesses were 140 for the men and then 214 for the women.
Ooh.
So
okay, interesting. So
I think we've said faster for the women. We said
I
think we said
210.
I think we said
like
I think I said 206.
I think I might need to amend my women's because I don't know. Tabor and Claire are out here crushing, so
because they at the Big Rock aid station, they were only 6 minutes behind them.
Which is really tight. I feel like for that 9 mile mark. Yeah, like not quite. I feel like a lot of times, particularly in ultras, I can say, okay, let's say on average a minute per mile slower from average pace. They're under that. They're under that. Yep. Yeah, because that's about 9 miles in. The gap of only 6 minutes, so they are bucking the trend there for sure.
Now, on the downhill of a course like this, so runnable, not a single rock to worry about. The men will probably be running 440 pace or so in those runnable sections. Do you think Tabor and Claire will be running 520, 530, or?
I think they definitely might. Yeah, like, I mean, these trails are super smooth and they both have quite a bit of leg speed, so I don't think that's outside of their range at all.
So they could stay right in that maybe 40-second per mile gap, which if we are thinking a 140 finish time, that's really putting the women, in that low 150s potential. I still think the men are going to be around 145. I think the little kickers at the end are going to slow them down enough, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope Nick's listening to us right now, just getting fueled up. So to
Nick's
be fair,
you don't know.
To be fair, he's probably listening to like a audiobook on soil or something. So I think that's what he did for CCC a couple of years ago. He listened to like a textbook about soil.
I love
for
that.
like 10 hours of running or something.
For those that don't know, the man on your screen is known as the Bay Area boy genius. He was, what was he on the Forbes 40 under 40?
No, it's the 30 under 30.
30 under 30, even more impressive.
He could have made 20 under 20 for sure. He graduated UCLA at like 19 or something.
Yeah, I think he graduated high school when he was like 10, and then UCLA when he was 12, and then Stanford when he was 15, and the guy just...
we're padding his resume. But he is a boy genius and a good friend to many of us here in the Bay Area, and is just he's got a lot of big ideas, and most of us just go along for the ride whenever he suggests something. So good to see him throwing down here as well after an amazing season of 50Ks last year. Tabor making this trail look smooth, sending it. I mean, she has to. I wonder if she knows where, like, has any sense, right? You're leading at that front. We talked about, like, do you want to be hunted or be the person doing the hunting, running scared, saying maybe that gap's only 90 seconds, maybe they're right there, etc. Kind of wonder what is going on in the mind as she continues to charge forward at this point, because we don't have that many checkpoints in this race, right? Like, it's not. Yesterday there was a few more check-in points. Like, it's like start, Big Rock Aid, finish.
Yeah, we were only gonna have that one, so we're gonna have to rely on just extrapolating from the video feed. But here Nick is. Yeah, thank you so much, Anna.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm like, we're talking about all these fast finish times. I'm going to go run down to the finish line and make sure I catch that.
Yeah, Anna's got to make sure she doesn't miss her friends finishing. We'll be cheering extra loud. We want to see you push Dylan out of the way to give hugs at the finish line, Anna.
And we got to give Anna respect. She's rocking the white on white Velcro Brooks.
Egyptian Whopper.
Addiction Walkers, one of the all-time
Looking
classics. I remember back in the day working at Fleet Feet, we used to pull those off the shelf and wear them while we were slinging shoes and inserts to people.
I love it. I love it.
Nick
Fitting
is
right in.
turning it over. He is cranking.
He is running so fast.
And he looks smooth. He's controlled. His shoulders are relaxed. Turnover is good. Head is stable. I hope he can hear us.
We did hear, he's got family in the chat, and he said, I got a lengthy description on the chemistry of ceramics the other day, so that's my bet on what he's listening to. He is in his pottery phase. Just want to point that out. He made a ton of ceramics for his wedding, in which we all got to take home little vases, which was really, really cool. So, yeah, Nick is definitely in his ceramics phase for sure.
Lovely. The most interesting man in trail running.
Yeah, the sport is chock full of them, and Nick is making good on this, trying to get the hometown win here, trying to set a time that will hopefully, stand many threats over the coming years. Because in an inaugural race, right, you get to be the person to establish the first course record, which is really, really cool. And so Nick is looking to do that today. We saw Eli Hemming do that yesterday. We're seeing Tabor try to do that right now. We saw Lottie Brinks do that in the women's 50K yesterday. So, inaugural races, inaugural course records, they can stand for a long time.
And that's what's neat about the sport right now, where in the past, maybe a decade or two ago, you would have a stout course record, but it would probably be taken down year after year after year. But now we're seeing these top athletes come out to a brand new race like the Big Alta, and they may last for a generation.
Yeah, so the cameraman following Nick, for those asking in the chat, is our Banana Boy. Matt Seidel. Not rocking a banana costume today, much to our chagrin and disappointment. But he flew in from Utah last night. He was on a little bit of a ski vacay, landed at 10:30, was here bright and early this morning, ready to be handed a gimbal, and ran Black Canyon 100K 2 weeks ago.
Where maybe some of us, more veterans, like myself at Black Canyon, I thought it's 100K. People are going to come back to me. No one came back to me. By the time I finished, my coach and I, we were talking about how I had this 100-mile mindset for 100K, and you can't do that these days. There are less and less blow-ups happening because the fields are deeper and deeper. And, this field right here is stout, but it's similar. Nick, Eli, or
Patty and Liam.
Yeah,
there we go.
Nick, Patty, and Liam, they are not going to blow up. They took it out hard. They're running hard, and they're going to finish hard. So seeing what Matt Seidel did at the Black Canyon was really wonderful. And, it's just a matter of he's a young athlete. He's going to figure it out. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for him.
Yeah, so from the top of those towers to the finish line is about 5 miles. It's not... Okay, so someone would tell you this is a downhill finish, but there's a lot of uphill in this downhill finish. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. There are a lot of fast cruisy miles, like the one that Nick is in right now, but there are some kickers on his way down the hill before more or less what ends up being like 2 miles of relatively consistently downhill running. So he's probably got 3 miles with a couple punchy climbs thrown in before he gets on that true downhill finish.
Yep. And those 2 punchy climbs are nothing to scoff at. They're probably less than half a mile each, but each over 150 feet gain.
I mean, we saw David Laney hiking one of them yesterday, and I don't know that I see David Laney hiking many things in a 50K.
No. Yeah, that speaks to the steepness, and coming after you've been running hard for an hour and a half, your legs are very tired. They're starting to fill with lead. You're thankful that this course does finish downhill because gravity will take you and you can just full send, but those little kickers are going to absolutely punish these athletes.
Yeah.
Tabor.
It sounds like word on the street is that Matt Seidel might be running Boston in a banana costume, going for the costumed fastest banana world record. So
sub 220 in a banana costume.
If anyone can do it, it's our boy Matt Seidel, who is the camera chasing Nick Handel, Bay Area guy, Outer Sunset guy.
Yep.
He lives about, I don't know, he lives a couple blocks from where I was living in San Francisco before we moved. I helped him move. Myself, Tony with a Sony, who's out there, Olivia and Eric, who are out there, Emma McCune, we helped them move tons. I'm talking literal tons of dirt out of their backyard, sand out of their backyard, so that they could plant the most insane garden back there. When Nick gets something in his mind to do, it will be done, and it will be done right. Hence the ceramics, hence the soil obsession. So yeah, boy genius, really talented runner, making good in the Big Alta 28K today.
So Nick's last race, his last race of the season for 2023 was when he ran the third fastest quad dipsy time. But just prior to that, he did run the Mammoth Trail Fest 50K. And in that race, he was out of the gates pretty quick. But Chad Hall, the infamous convert to the trails that's absolutely lighting things up, and a low 2:10 marathoner, was leading the Mammoth Trail Fest 50K, and at some point succumbed to fatigue, and he had to abandon. But Nick ran the rest of the race thinking he was in second place. No one on his crew told him he was leading the race.
Oh, my
crossed
goodness.
the finish line hours later, and he's like, "Oh, like, where's Chad?" And that was the first moment he realized that he was actually the winner. Oh. This is the opposite.
I have chills.
He knows.
I have chills
right now. He knows
he
is in the lead. He is holding, like, he has he
knows he's got Matt on his.
Yeah, he's got the bull by the horns. He has Matt right on his heels, the cameraman, but he also knows Liam and Patty are back there, but he is running with confidence. He is sending the downhill, and he knows that, hey, this is my race to lose.
It's so exciting. I remember when he placed third at the Broken Arrow 50K for the first time, and he was getting emotional on his way to the finish because he knew that he was going to place third, and it was a big performance for him. It was kind of a breakout performance for him. And every time he'd get emotional, he'd start cramping. And so he had to like tell himself, like, I can't get excited, I can't get emotional, because every time he did, he would just start cramping.
Yeah,
and then he jumped for the bell and completely seized up at the end. So really cool to see how far he's come. Again, on our screen, leading the women's race, has led from the gun at this point. Tabor Hemming.
It's going to be very hard for Claire to catch up. Just the fact that Tabor looks so smooth. She's running so strong.
But we had some crazy moves yesterday. Talking to the women who finished on the podium, they did have to survive the Whopper. These women will not have to survive the Whopper today. But it was one of those moments where, Christina was told that she had like a 7 or 8 minute lead over third. She got out to the top of the climb coming out of the Whopper before the downhill to the finish, and Sarah in third was right there, like literally crested the hill with her, and like they had to race to the finish over the final 2 miles. Like I think Christina ended up putting a minute on her way to the finish, but it was like, oh no, like that 8 minute lead disappeared. So things can happen out there. Yeah. We hope that nothing happens and everyone runs the best races they possibly can. No one cramps up. Everyone feels amazing. Yeah. But that's not how racing works.
And for these top men and women, it's really going to be decided on the downhill sections. We talked about those 2 kickers in the final 5 miles, maybe 150 feet over half a mile, which are going to absolutely just punish their legs and their lungs are going to burn. However, it's the downhill, whoever is able to open up their stride and really turn it over, that's where the time's going to be made up or lost. Where I believe on the short little kickers, there might be a spread of a few seconds here or there, but on the downhill, let's say Tabor's running 5:25 pace and Claire's running 5:30, you're extending your lead. Or the opposite, she could be eating into the lead and catch her on the downhill. Same with Nick. It's going to be interesting to see if he has a big enough gap over Liam, the sub 4 miler, if he can hold him off on the final sections of the downhill.
Yeah, curious to know, is I haven't seen him actually look over his shoulder.
No, he's running with confidence.
Which is I'm really curious to know, like, in those moments where he hasn't been on screen, is he checking a little bit? Has Matt checked? Oftentimes the camera person will be like, "There's no one there. Like, just keep running." But yeah, always interesting. We do have a top 10 women split through that 9, we'll call it 8.8 mile aid station. So Tabor Hemming again came through there about 90 seconds ahead of Claire Rhodes. Tabor Hemming, who's on your screen right now. Becca Lohman was sitting in third at that point, but that 3, 4, and 5 group of Becca Lohman, Samantha Diaz, and Sylvie Abel are all together. Just behind them, another 3.5 minutes, is Julia Schultz. Sarah Wesson Chang is about a minute behind her. Rachel Lenz there's a kind of another gap then. So 8, 9, and 10 are basically all together, but they're probably 3 minutes or so away from 7th, and that's Rachel Lenz, Katie Fitzpatrick, and Lauren Daniels are going to be making up that group.
Now that's Matt's wife, is that correct?
Yes, I believe it is. I was actually
Matt Daniels, who finished Was he third last?
He was third yesterday.
Third in
Yeah,
the
he held on for third. I saw him. We saw him at the finish line, and we were like, "Oh my goodness, his legs are completely seized up."
He was cramping big
But
time.
I saw him like an hour after he finished, probably after he had like showered and cleaned himself up, and I was like, "You're moving pretty well."
Yeah.
He was in good spirits, which was really good to see. It was like he cramped horribly on those descents. It was funny. I talked to him ahead of Black Canyon about Andy Bumbelow running Black Canyon, and I was like, what are you most worried about for him? And he said, I'm actually most worried that he's going to get crampy just from the downhill loading that he's not used to. And while we saw him cramping during the race yesterday, in my head I go, oh no, it's the Black Canyon downhill. And I talked to him afterwards, and he's like, Corinne, I literally had thought the exact same thing while it was happening to me during the race.
Fantastic. Look at that shot right there.
Yeah, and it looks, just to like point this out to people too, like the camera angles will never make things look as steep as they are. The punchy uphills on this downhill on their way to the finish truly are very, very steep. You can see the top of them basically every single time, but they are these steep little kickers where you're just kind of like, come on, like really, I've got to go up that. So we did see hiking yesterday in the 50K. Probably not going to be a lot of hiking today in the 28K for our podium finishers on those kickers, but yesterday we did see our folks on the podium have to break into a hike on parts of those because they're hitting that nearing the marathon mark for the most part.
Another great shot of Tabor just cruising along these runnable sections. Yeah, what really kind of sets this course apart from a lot of others is the high points are so high above the vegetation and tree line that you're on these almost grassy knolls with 360-degree views of the entire bay. This is the area where if Tabor does turn around, if Claire is close, she might be able to catch a glimpse. But it's one of the few areas. So looks as though Nick is going down the first punchy climb, making his way.
Yeah, so he's probably, mile 15-ish or so?
No, he's probably 13.
I want him to be closer to us.
I know.
It's 1:35 on the clock. If people's predictions are going to hold, Nick's got to run faster. People are starting to feel better about their predictions. That 150 time is looking a little bit better and better.
Yeah. Oh, we got a nice shot of Liam here. Yeah, so for context, if the 139 prediction is correct, they have 2 minutes and 50 seconds to finish, which I don't know much about stats, but I don't know if El Garouge could do that. I don't think Jakob Ingebrigtsen. So I think our 139 is going to be safely destroyed. But Liam, he's grimacing there. He's deep in the race. He's an hour and 36 minutes in. He's still looking strong, moving well. And he's running a fantastic race.
Yeah, looking really smooth still grinding away. We don't see Patty in that shot, so curious to kind of see what those gaps end up being. Someone said, oh no, the grassy knoll. So when we were talking about naming this race, obviously the Big Chicken was in contention, which did not come to be, but there are lots of chicken references throughout because a lot of this area is named for hens, akin to like Chicken Shack, Fire Road, Chicken Shack aid station that we have. One of the other options was the Big Loma, which would literally basically mean the big knoll.
Yep.
Which you can see we got a lot of big knolls out there. Is that Jamil chasing Liam? Jam with the cam, getting his tempo sessions in.
But Liam is running well. But this is where I think experience also plays into the hands of someone like Nick. He's had a lot of 50K experience where he's gone beyond a 3, 4, 5 hour mark. Liam is one of those young talents running incredibly strong. And
probably hasn't done anything that's taken over 2.5 hours.
Minimally, yeah.
Yeah.
But right now, this is going to play into his strength. If he just sends it, just opens the floodgates and lets gravity take him.
They're not that far apart.
No. I mean, you can't underestimate what you can run downhill, but you have to be able to turn your brain off. Your legs are burning, your lungs are screaming. Oh,
Patty
there's
O'Leary.
Maybe
Liam
15
is not
seconds back.
completely out of sight. You know, he's had that good visual on him. He's got to be kind of worried, like, hey, Jeff Stern wasn't that far back at Big Rock, like peeking over his shoulder as well. But we do have our top 3 men down through this grassy knoll, that being Nick Handel, Liam Miro, and whose parents are here. I've been told they are a hoot if we can find them. Yeah. And then Patty O'Leary in 3rd position. Lots of Patty fans in the chat going to be going off for our boys.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Patty will catch Liam, and it's no disrespect to Liam. However, I think this is where experience plays into. Liam is approaching an hour and 40 minutes of hard racing. His legs are burning, his lungs are screaming, and mentally that starts to wear on you. You think, hey, I thought I would win this race. I'm now in 2nd. You start kind of playing these head games, and Patty, he's just going to full send. He tastes like he smells blood in the water. He's going to go after Liam, and I can see where he's just going to unleash, let gravity take him, and absolutely punish his body on the final couple miles of descent. Full send, and Liam's going to have make that decision. Do I respond or do I let him go? We're getting a little choppy, but a great shot of Patty running through those trees. Yeah, and this is that grassy knoll you talk about.
Yeah, so we'll be curious to see what that gap back is to Jeff Stern, as he was flying coming into Big Rock. So curious to know how that climb treated him on his way over the top. It'll be cool. Again, we mentioned earlier that he's the race director for the Headlands 50K, which is the US 50K National Championship. He is also the race director for the Headlands, what is it officially, 26K? 28K? I was like, it's somewhere between 26 and 28.
Yeah,
maybe
tomato,
27, which will be part of the World Golden Trail Running Series, kind of it and Mammoth being the U.S. races this year, that big, long California trip for all the internationals coming over. But really excited to have high caliber racing coming back to Marin.
Look at the shot of Tabor.
Rolling.
Yep, and she can look out into the bay above the clouds.
Yeah, racing in those shoes that were designed for the Western States course, which is basically this fire road.
Yep.
You know, net downhill, cruisy, flowy,
she is
rolling,
flying.
Fast. It's got that super responsive foam. It's got some good traction. It rolls really nicely. She is making good use of some speedy legs and some speedy shoes.
And as you mentioned, she's fresh off a 1:13 half marathon. I think this really plays into her strengths, where it's runnable fire road. She knows how to descend quickly. She knows how to basically just check her, like disregard her own safety and just let it go because she's confident in her ability. And so I think she's going to absolutely fly down this section.
Yeah, we've got people tuning in from all over watching. It's been really cool. Earlier I asked who are you cheering for? Where are you cheering from? And yeah, really like populated from literally all over the place. So super, super good to see people tuning in this morning for the shorter distance of the weekend. Not the lesser distance by any means, the shorter distance, but really cool to see this race come to fruition. And we should mention, because we haven't for a hot second, that this is a cool collaboration that you guys are all experiencing, a collaboration with Mountain Outpost, bringing you the live broadcast, you know, including we saw Jam with the Cam on screen. We've got Matt in here in studio making it all happen for us. We don't think Jamil has slept all weekend. He's been tinkering with Starlinks the entire time, but in collaboration with Freetrail and then Daybreak Racing, Dylan gives Jeremy Long a lot, you know, probably most of the credit as being the quote unquote real race director this weekend, but incredibly cool to see, presented by GOLDWIN, and then again supported by the folks at Red Bull, HVMN, and Speedland, making the whole broadcast possible, this whole race experience possible. And yesterday we came up with #wholesome, because we decided that what we felt this weekend was like a community-driven, community-centric race experience that had high production value. And
I
I
love
think
that.
we feel that in Mammoth. We feel that here. We feel that at Gorge, 100K, 100K weekend, 100K, 50K, 30K weekend. So yeah, it's been really cool to get to be here for the inaugural running. And we're like pretty convinced that this is going to become like the hottest thing in February.
Got a shot of Jeff Stern coming down. He chose the left side of the puddle.
And he looked over his shoulder there, but he is still charging.
Yeah, he's moving well. And as a reminder, he ran Black Canyon 100K 2 weeks ago. He ran a stout time. I believe he was right at around 8:28, 8:29, which is a very good time. Back in the day, that would have probably been, top 6, 7. Now it probably put him just outside the top 20.
We got some spectators out running up the climb right now to go find their friends. I might do that when we get out of studio today.
I know.
Go run back there. There's a ton of people out racing this weekend. Oh, there. Speaking of, that's
Levi.
That's why Jeff was looking over his shoulder, because Levi Miller is right there.
This is another great race for the men. I'm gonna go ahead and put my money on Levi, just like I did with Patty to catch Liam. I think Levi will catch.
Yeah, and I bet Gordon Giannini is like probably there. He is.
Oh,
Gordon is right there as well.
And this is the 100-mile specialist.
Yep, exactly. So we've got 4, 5, and 6 all within eyesight coming through.
What a race!
Yeah, Gordon, that 100-mile specialist, young, still like young runner.
Yep.
But was kind of came. I think actually it was it came through that Western program, out in Gunnison, Colorado, and then has really just excelled in a big way. I feel like very quickly at the 100-mile distance, and has kind of stepped back to get to experience some of the shorter running as well.
And I love to see athletes embracing the shorter stuff. Like you said, it is far from the lesser distance.
I'm so tempted. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm going back to my sky running roots, and I'm just going to do short things now.
I mean, it's neat to see this opportunity, and we're seeing more and more as we get these 26K, 28Ks, 30Ks, half marathons offered, and the recognition that they deserve are being presented through the media like this. The partnership you said with Freetrail and Daybreak and Mountain Outpost. It's fantastic. And I mean, personally, as a younger athlete, if this had been available, I would have loved to stick to 50K and below for years. It's a way to harness and hone your skill set, kind of respect your body as you develop as an athlete. It's so much fun just to race all out for 90 minutes to 3 hours. It feels like a cross-country race that never ends.
Sweet. So I think we actually have Liam, our in course. Oh, he's got chairs today. Liam, are those your chairs? Are you going to be able to get runners out of them if you sit them down there? Those are low.
It's debatable. BYOC was what I was told, so I brought them. I don't know. They're pretty cushy. How do they look? What? Soft grass? So I mean, I need to sit them down. No, I hadn't tested that. Yeah, we're ready here. I just had a quick chat with Dylan Bowman, and he, I'm just bedding him in, and he reckons that those top two, especially Nick Handel, is within that kind of finishing mile distance. So we're looking out, seeing where he is. He's pretty close, is what we think. That if you may have overheard me, Dylan just said 1.5 miles out. Should we see if we can grab Dylan?
Dylan, you're not busy yet. Come on.
So that means our lead man is going to be in the low 150s.
Okay.
We want to know what your hot take is.
So maybe 150-214 was the reasonable prediction.
Looks like he put the hurting on the boys heading up Big Rock Ridge. Just another perfect day out, and it was so cool as I was chasing Tabor this morning to be able to watch the live stream of my own race while I'm chasing the women's leader. Shout out to my boy Alex Varner, who hung as long as he possibly could with that lead trio of Liam Myro, Nick Handel, and Patty O'Leary. We just saw them go past the Louise Fire Road cam, and it looked like Nick had solid lead, Liam in second, Patty behind him third, Jeff Stern fourth, and then our guy Levi Miller in fifth. From there, it's 2.5 miles to go. So anyway, I would expect Nick to hang on here, and we'll be waiting for him here at the park.
You really get a gauge of how fast these guys are just by the fact they dropped Varner.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like, Varner is one of the fastest men in Marin County, for sure, and has been since he was, 12 years old. 9-time fastest time winner at the Dipsy, and a good friend of all of ours. And anyway, shout out to Varner for hanging on as long as he did. It was longer than I did yesterday. So.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear. 24 minutes officially for Varner. You can tell Dylan that.
The 24 minutes is the official time. They've clocked it in the studio. Awesome. Well, we'll hang on here and keep an eye out for Nick and Liam and Patty as they come through. Let's see what happens. Maybe there is a change in that who's who order on the top 3, but maybe Nick can hang on, like Dylan said.
And we've got Tabor is also coming down through that kind of like big knoll area. So at Big Rock, she only had about a 6 minute. She was only 6 minutes behind the men's pack, and honestly, that hasn't extended all that much.
No, it has not.
You know, like I bet Tabor finishes within maybe 10 minutes of the men's lead at the finish line. So we're going to see low 2 hours, I think, for her.
I think our predictions for the women is going to be much.
Do we have a position on Tabor right now?
Tabor was in 9th at Big Rock. I don't know where she came through Jamil's camera up at the knoll. We can probably find that from the field. But yeah,
So there's a high probability that Tabor's going to finish top 10 OM.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she will 100%
Incredible.
be in the top 10 overall. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, she's probably not that far behind the like trio of like Jeff Stern, Gordon Giannini, Levi Miller. So she's probably sitting in like
Liam,
7th or 8th.
We have a question for you, Liam. How much do you owe us for
being
losing
wrong?
For being wrong about your prediction?
For being wrong? Honestly, you know, we could talk in monetary value or we can just talk in sheer humility. You know, getting an apology from a Northern Englishman is a real thing. So I'm sorry. I was wrong.
I am going to die happy.
Yeah, I was quite wrong. And you know what? That's cool. That's cool. We all get wrong sometimes. Right?
But you know who is not going to get it wrong? Nick Handel and Tabor Hemming.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. It's what, like, the thing, I mean, Dylan just kind of alluded to it, but what an absolutely perfect weekend. Like, exciting racing, no major hitches, beautiful weather, perfect course. Like, you really can't get much better than this when it comes to any kind of sporting event. But in trail running, like, chef's kiss.
And that's what's beautiful about these shorter 28K races is you get all of the drama, the beauty, and the excitement of like a long ultra condensed into 90 minutes to 2 hours. It just allows us like the best things in a palatable form.
That's Fernando there with right behind Tabor Hemming. So again, Fernando is another fast Bay Area guy. We utilize him a lot for Western States. Live streaming, he's been one of our guys that runs up the escarpment most years for the Western States live stream over the last, I guess, 3 editions of the race. So really, really cool to see Fernando out here again this weekend helping out. Really, it's been an all hands on deck community initiative to make sure this happens.
It's one of the best things, and I've talked to Jamil and Dylan about that, how it's really fun to feel like you're building something with friends, and that's what they're doing with Daybreak and with Freetrail and with Mountain Outpost. We're building something cool for the community, from the community, and to see everyone come out and support it has just been, it's heartwarming for everyone involved.
Finish shoot right now. He's looking pretty limber considering how utterly cramped he was yesterday afternoon. I actually saw him out on Lucas Valley Road having a little shakeout jog, so it can't have hurt that much.
Yeah, so we've got from the field, Nick Handel about a mile out. This is from our unofficial on-course correspondents, the locals on the live stream here. Nick Handel should be less than a mile out. Big gap maybe over the charging Liam Miro and
I'm
Patty
still
O'Leary.
going to stand by. I think Patty O'Leary is going to take second. I think he's going to overtake Liam in the final mile.
He will gut it out. What's your over-under on someone puking at the finish line?
Patty has a strong Irish stomach, so I don't think he will puke, but I could see Liam up chucking.
We'll see what happens. We'll get Liam puking at the finish line.
Wait, which Liam's puking?
I mean, hopefully you're not puking.
Yeah, how nervous are you, Liam?
Hey, yeah, maybe it's like excited nervous, but yeah, a little. I feel it. I've got the butterflies, I absolutely love finish line vibes, that excitement, especially when you don't have eyes on. And it really, I know Nick's got a good gap, but anything really could happen, especially Liam and Paddy.
Oh.
If Pat, like you just said, if Paddy gives it some right now, who knows?
Yeah, it's the anticipation of the unknown. It's why we refresh our screens and our feeds so often. We don't know what's coming.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh,
so we're 1:52 on the clock right now. So if we're expecting Nick in a couple minutes, he's going to break that 2 hour mark. And then based on the splits from Big Rock, we think Tabor should be within 10 minutes. So that could be in that like 206, 207
Yeah,
mark.
and we do think that she probably came through in maybe 7th or 8th overall through that knoll area where we had that camera set up. So she's probably behind Levi Miller, but the Levi Miller Gordon Giannini group, but ahead maybe of Ryan Hoke and Ross Monroe, having moved up a spot or two. We do have confirmation that Claire Rhodes is also through that knoll area, so the gap has not gone down. I would say we're probably still holding at that 90-second to two or so minute mark. So both those women are still absolutely charging. We do believe that Becca Lohman is still in 3rd position. She should be followed though by Samantha Diaz and Sylvie Abel. So we will be keeping our eye out for those women as they make their way down. M1 is on the pavement. Nick Handel is on the pavement. So he has come off the fire road. He is on the pavement in the community, making his way to the finish line. So he is just minutes away from that. While on your screen, we've got Claire Rhodes charging the downhill.
Great shot of Claire.
On a perfect day, Loma Alta, Big Rock Ridge.
Claire is still crushing this climb. That turnover has not changed.
It does sound like we'd have had a shakeup, and Patty and Liam have bridged together, likely Liam behind Patty at this point. So we are...
Did someone...
Did Tim Tollefson
I don't know,
call that in studio? Tim's feeling pretty full of himself this morning.
I'm
He's pretty
regretting
confident.
not playing Freetrail Fantasy. It's I'm embarrassed to say it on air, but I did not put my picks in. You know, I'm trying to step away from the gambling, Yeah, and I feel like I just have so much knowledge it would be insider trading, so
Seems unfair. Seems unfair for you to play. Jim Walmsley will let him play.
Yeah.
But not Tim Tollefson.
Okay, folks, I hear the cheers down the course. It means Nick must be close.
Nick.
I see movement through the trees.
We are going to have him...
Yeah, we have eyes on him. That is
Okay.
Nick Handel. He
He's
is
gonna
going to
break
be our
155.
inaugural 28K Big Alta
Sub
winner.
2.
Sub 2 easy. He's a 144.29. Here he comes, picking up that pace now. Absolutely stonking finish.
Oh my goodness, Nick Handel, take a bow, kid.
The legend, holding it down for the local kids. Nick Handel is your winner in 154.50 of the Big Alta 28K, demonstrating that he has range from OCC over in the Alps to the Big Alta in Marin to the 50K in Mammoth. He can do it all.
I'm going to get Nick when he can stand still. Collapse over here, Nick. You got it, buddy. Do you want to sit or do you want to stand? He's going to sit. Awesome. Yeah, I got you. We got it. Do you want to take a quick sip before we start? So I've got him here. Nick Handel, men's Big Alta 28K inaugural winner. It all happened at Big Rock, right?
It all happened here. This is it. This is like game changing for me. This is going to be a big year.
Say more about that.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like last year was a great year. I had a lot of fun races, and really proved to myself that I could do it. And I don't know, this year, like out here in February, feeling like that, I don't know. It's going to be fun this year.
Oh yeah. So I saw you come through Big Rock in 3rd. You were gaining on the guys, but you were definitely a little back. And then I saw you blow out of Big Rock, basically in 1st place. What was going through your mind at that point?
Well, I mean, I just wasn't that thirsty. So I had 400 mils left in my 500 flask. And I mean, I still only drank 150 for the rest of the way. So I just didn't need the water. And I figured, okay, that's a place I can gain, 20 something seconds. It's on my watch.
We'll crop that later. We'll crop that later. Don't worry.
We got accuracy is important. And so I just figured, I would just go for it. I'm a climber. I love climbing. It's like I get, I see a hill and I love it. And I could feel earlier that they were getting me on the down and I was getting them on the up. So I just figured that's where I had to go. Cause like, I don't know, have you seen Liam's legs? Dude, my head is like below his shoulders. you know, I needed it on the uphill because he's a really fast ascender. So is Patty. I mean, Patty's just both of them are just incredible
And Patty
athletes,
should be coming in
Nick's so
within
fast.
a few
So
seconds.
I knew I needed to get it on the climb, and so I just did work there. And man, Matt Seidel, the follow cam.
Sounds like Patty might be here right now. Patty's here. Sounds like Patty's coming in. Let's give him a cheer.
Oh, get Nick up.
Get Nick up. Good work, Nick.
Yeah, tell Nick that he can hold this over Patty for forever.
You can hold this over Patty forever, Corinne said. Oh, they're together. Guys, they're together. It's literally going to be a sprint finish.
It could be our cameraman.
It could be Matt Seidel.
Oh, no,
with
it's
him.
Matt Seidel. It's Matt Seidel.
It's Banana Boy.
Oh, my gosh. It is the human banana. But look at Patty looking so cruisy right now.
Patty O'Leary, the Irishman, a local legend, holding it down. This is really where local experiences paying dividends, is paying in spades. Sub 2 hours for Patty O'Leary. The two Bay Area bros are gonna hug it out.
They are like besties.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see that.
Culminated by
In the stream, what Patty just said, I made these boys, I'll replace the word that he used, work. I made these boys work. I'm going to grab Patty.
Sounds good. And Liam, we didn't quite catch what you said Patty said, if you want to repeat that for us.
Yeah, I will. Here comes Liam Myro in third place. So
Oh.
all of the podium guys finishing sub 2.
Right there, Liam. Incredible performance by Liam. 159.02. He stuck his nose in it. Had a great day. He's going to learn a lot.
I love that Nick was like, have you seen his legs?
I know. His legs are the height of my shoulder.
Pull the chairs out. No one gets a chair.
Oh, they're really stuck.
Yeah, Tabor 7th overall currently, about 1.5 miles out. So we should Tabor should be at the finish line. My guess is in the next 8 or so minutes.
I'm just waiting.
Beat me before this, but then he dropped out. Sonoma.
Oh, I beat him, and
then he dropped out of CCC.
So he beat me, and you beat me.
And Tim Hill climb because he showed up 30 seconds late.
Yeah.
Paddy, come back. Paddy, come back. Come back. Come on, Liam, you as well. Guys, you were all so close throughout there. Liam, you catch your breath. Paddy, you just said... We need to just get audio on Paddy. Paddy, come and stand here. Paddy just said, Jesus effing Christ. That was a year.
They can't control
Paddy just
that.
said, Jesus effing Christ. That was a race. And before that, he said, I made these his work. Paddy, tell me about that. Come on, talk me through it.
Well, I think I kind of... Who am I talking to? The camera. But never look at the camera. You're meant to look like there.
You can look at me.
Okay. Before the race, I said the only way to keep up, like these guys are of such ridiculous talent. The only way I felt I'd be able to be in the mix was to go out hard, like Dipsy style. Corinne had said I'm a wannabe 100-miler, but I'm starting to realize that I should be a short distance runner, and I'm starting to realize that. But I said I wanted to make these lads work for their win. I'm 100%. We did. We went hard that first 9 miles, but it's cool. All 3 of us going under 2 hours. Nick, like there was a couple we exchanged leads between mile 6 and mile 10 multiple times. I led till 6, and then we're just over back, and people kept doing surges on the way up Loma Alta, which was super fun. Bad for poor Varner on the video. He was dying. But then Nick took off on the way up Big Rock Ridge, and we didn't see the end of him. I was like 20 seconds behind, leaned the whole way up the ridge, and then on the second little bumper, I caught him. But then he was right behind me the whole way. All those little tiny razors on the way down, though, I think they might have cut him. I was still panicking till the end, though.
What I saw, at that Big Rock station, obviously, you and Liam were really kind of leading the charge. Yeah.
To hurt them.
Yeah.
See if I could mess their quads up a bit.
Yeah.
To make this easier for me.
And I saw that, and then I looked on the other side of the tunnel, and Nick was gapping.
I know. It was ridiculous. I stopped to get water, and then my watch keeps forever. I stopped suddenly. It goes, you're after falling. And I was there trying to cancel that because it would have been quite annoying, or would have been calling Eleanor to tell her I fell over or something. And then Nick made that opportunity going down that little down the concrete into the tunnel is sketch. He just flew down it. No care in the world. That's what, he's in his early 30s. That's why he can do this. Nick's in their 20s. Yeah.
Old man Paddy.
I don't even know what to say. Paddy's got so much energy.
So the last 3 or 4 years in racing, I used to be a very positive. I remember David Roach here racing against this guy in Way Too Cool 7 years ago, and he was saying Paddy's always smiling and laughing. The last 4 years, I lost the ability to do it. Yeah. I started developing RBF, Racing Bitch Face, where I was just angry the whole time. I purposely went out there saying I was going to smile as much as possible, laugh and joke as much as possible, and I did, and it actually raced well.
Yeah. The old Paddy is back.
You looked solid throughout.
This is a positive turning moment in life. Maybe Racing Bitch Face is gone.
Yeah, maybe it has.
Yeah, sorry for the language.
Don't be. It's Irish. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, Paddy, amazing finish there, taking that second place, and a little punch by punch. It feels like a fight. Like the way you've just described that feels like a boxing match.
We were running up Loma Alta, and there was some people were saying. I think we saw Clara Peterson. I think from Rin. She was like, "You guys all work together," and I was like, "We are not working together right now. We're trying to run each other to death."
There was one point where the crew in the studio thought that you'd done this, like a cutthroat symbol, but I'd said that you'd say, "Hey, what's up?" And they were like, "Paddy did a cutthroat symbol?" I was like, no, but it sounds like that might have been the more appropriate action.
It was unintentional.
Unintentional
Great job,
murdering.
Paddy. Super proud of you. Thank you so much for making Big Alta what it is, and thank you for a really entertaining race.
Thank you, Dylan and Co, for bringing this to these beautiful trails. They're underappreciated all over the bay. The East Bay.
East Bay for the win.
Appreciated. South Bay, underappreciated. The city,
the trails are
underappreciated.
Bay is underappreciated.
Big time.
We could keep doing this all day.
Yeah.
Bye, Patty.
Someone
We need
cut
to
them
find
off.
Liam.
We've lost Liam, but I just want to give an update. We do have both Tabor and Claire are they're probably about a mile out at this point, and we do know that Claire is about 90 seconds back of Tabor, so we do have a women's race on to the finish line. We will potentially have camera of them coming off the fire road onto the pavement. Rhodes is going for a walk. We got to wave to Rhodes as he leaves studio. He's looking dapper. We got a backwards
It'll
hat
be
on.
interesting to see the actual split, and if it is 90 seconds, it means that they've just been running the same pace since
Just
Big Rock.
90 seconds apart. Yeah, Tabor got a gap early. Looks like Jeff Stern. No. Levi Miller. With the kiddo.
The other local legend coming in. Is our fourth? Levi Miller, 4th place overall, 2 hours and 4 minutes. A man that does not race very often, but absolutely delivered on his home trails.
Yeah, so it looks like if that is accurate, he has overtaken Jeff Stern on that final descent.
Yep.
Looks like that is Jeff Stern right there coming
Passed
in for
him
5th.
in the chute.
Wow. Levi had to drop the baby basically to make that 4th place happen.
That was a bold move to pick up his baby in the chute.
Yeah, no, I think the toddler was chasing him and he was like, I gotta go.
Sorry, kid.
You catch me past the finish line.
Yep. You're going to be proud of me one day, but right now I'm dropping you on your head.
Yeah, so that is 4 and 5, and we do think that Tabor is probably sitting in 7th overall. So just want to keep our eyes out on that finishing. But we do have, I think we've got comms from Liam with Liam at the finish as well. Liam, it's all you.
Talent.
Liam, when you came into Big Rock, I just talked to Paddy and he said at that point he was really like trying to make you guys work, and the whole way he was trying to make you work. Talk me through the race from your perspective.
I mean, truthfully, I was pretty comfortable through the Big Rock point. Once we hit that, though, I just started cramping in my ribcage. And then it was just like, it's so hard to mentally swap out of that position. It's something I've like struggled with in trail, like with the longer distances since I started like a year ago.
Would it be cool?
And like, I'm just still figuring it out. Like to get the fueling down, get the whatever it is. I hit like that hour 15-minute mark and I'm like hurting.
Just watch out for the camera. It's chaos down here. I spoke to Nick, and Nick had said when he hit that Big Rock climb, that was where, after kind of exchanging leads on the downs, he knew that the up was where he was going to be able to kind of put that gap in. What was going through your mind as he started to pull away?
I was gamed up. I was like, all right, he made the move. Like, let's follow it and climb for the next 20 minutes and then get ready to bomb it downhill. But like, I was in like my downhill state mentally, like on the uphill. I was like trying to get it. Yeah.
Any learnings, big learnings from this one?
I can't even talk.
Too soon to tell?
I mean, just you never underestimate the distance, never underestimate competition. It's super early in the year. I just came off a big 2-week stint in Flagstaff, so yeah, there's a lot more to come. So this gave me some momentum for sure.
Before we started today, you said work harder, not smarter. How do you feel that played out?
No regrets. I mean, I was definitely more conservative than I would be. At 4, I was I can go now, but I was let's just keep waiting. And I waited to the point where I started cramping, so it's who knows how it would have went, but yeah.
Well, listen, I already said it to Paddy and to Nick. You guys put on such an entertaining race. Yeah, don't mind us. You guys put on such an entertaining race. It was so thrilling to watch. Thank you so much for making Big Alta what it is. You reckon we'll see you here again?
Totally, man. Yeah, thanks for the setup. This was awesome. It was my pro debut for Nike, so I'll remember this race forever.
Yeah, congrats, man. You did great.
Thanks, Liam.
There you go. Liam Myro put on a stunning race there. We're going to see who else we can find. And, of course, Tabor will be coming in very, very soon. And let's see. From what I heard, her and Claire are close. Am I right?
Yeah, so we know that Tabor's on the pavement. F2 should be Claire Rhodes, and she should be within that 90-second mark behind her. And then we have been told that F3, which we think is Becca Lohman still, though we are not sure. It could be Samantha Diaz, or it could be Sylvie Abel. Both of them, they were all very close together, but we do know that it should be Tabor, 90 seconds back, Claire, 90 seconds back, F3. So we have a amazing women's race going on, and Tabor should be to you at the finish line very shortly.
I may redeem myself with my prediction as well. I said I totally overcut it with the men, but with women I said between 2 and 2:10. I have 50 seconds.
Yeah, bravo. But what an incredible race on both sides. And it will be exciting because we will have Tabor Hemming coming in, shortly followed by Claire Rhodes, and then the mystery woman in third. Here's Tabor.
Tabor Hemming. Under the 2:10.
2:09:31. Tabor Hemming absolutely destroying the course.
Astonishing performance.
Just minutes behind
Jesus Christ.
the men.
It's a good part.
Say a quick hi.
So she will finish eighth overall. Gordon Giannini finished in 6th. Ryan Hoke in 7th, just behind Ryan.
I have her right here.
Tabor Hemming in the house.
We'll stand. Okay, let's get rid of these. Okay, Tabor, that was amazing. First question, the most important one. What were you listening to?
Nothing. I was going to listen to something, and then I had people direct it the whole time.
There you go.
Awesome.
Okay, that was a stunning race. You led from the beginning. You held that lead. What was going through your mind?
Honestly, I was just thinking, stay smooth and enjoy the day out there. I guess I didn't know what the legs would do because we haven't ran anything up and down all year yet. And so I was just see what the body had, and it had a good time.
Well, I was pretty close coming through that Big Rock aid station. Were you aware of how tight she was? She was about 90 seconds, 2 minutes back.
I had no idea. No, I was just running hard and hoping that would give me a good day. But she was running well. Yeah.
And a top 10 finish overall.
Hey, nice.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
You and Eli take the win. It's a victory for the household. How's that?
It's nice to both get on a plane feeling satisfied. I told him if he didn't win, he had to run home. So.
And what about if you didn't win?
Also, I'd have to run home.
That's amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much for putting on such a stunning race. Will you be back at Big Alta?
Oh, hands down. Yeah, everyone should come to this race.
There you go. Tabor Hemming, women's inaugural 28K Big Alta champion.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Okay, so we're going to wait now. We think, course record. There you go. We're going to have Claire coming in pretty soon. I'll try and grab her. These top athletes are so composed.
Tabor looked unfazed.
Yeah.
Just I could do squats.
It's possible her coach has her doing a post-race workout, so let's keep the camera on her because she looked too fresh.
Yeah, I think her and Eli just coach themselves and each other at this point. So they're both just
yeah, Claire should be coming in.
Yeah, we should have Claire. We're looking for that pink and purple, the new North Face kit.
Here she comes now.
Claire, we got Claire.
Claire's in the finishing chute.
So
I'm not sure, actually.
A little bit more than 90 seconds opened up if that is the case. But yeah, we should have Claire Rhodes, and then we should be looking for Becca Lohman, Samantha Diaz, and Sylvie Abel.
Oh, there's.
That's not Claire.
No, that's not Claire.
No, this is 9th man. But yeah, I would expect to see it pretty soon.
Claire. Give us Claire.
So it looks
Maybe
like Tabor
Debo can start
extended her
again here.
lead over the final few miles.
Yeah, on that final downhill looks
Which,
like.
as we talked about earlier, she's fresh off a 1:13 half marathon. She has the speed. She has the turnover. I bet she was.
Claire came in like unsure if she was going to race or not, dealing with a little bit of a niggle. So, but curious how close then third is going to be to Claire. We could have a battle for second and third if that is indeed the case.
Now saying that he can see her. Sounds like she's on her own, so it's possible that we're going to be getting her into this finish line very, very soon.
Yeah, it sounds like from our
her.
on-course
Here she
correspondent that Sylvia Abel slipped back a little bit in the field, but we should have a lot of women within that like 2 mile out mark.
So they're just going to be streaming through here.
So here she comes.
Dylan is going to lose it.
So Claire Rhodes, F2.
Just underneath the 2:15 mark.
All smiles for Claire.
Big hug for Dylan.
Incredible performance by her.
Yeah, that Reno crew though. So I know that Claire is Alaskan, but that Reno crew is so strong. Darren Thomas ran
got
great.
second in the 50K.
You've got MK Sullivan and Tommy Sullivan who have been tearing it up like that. That Reno training group.
Yep.
It's pretty solid.
People talk about the Boulder Boys and the Idaho area, but I think Reno is a
underappreciated.
It's underappreciated for sure. Reno, it's a great area. They do get winter, they get ice and snow, but it's lower elevation.
It sounds like we might be trying to grab it. There we go. Yeah, Liam, we hear you.
Yeah, I have it. Awesome. Claire, second place. That was a fierce race.
Yeah, it was a blast. The nature of this course, I could see Tabor like almost the whole time, which was like deceiving, but I think it was good because it pushed me. I probably felt like I was closer to her than I was, but I think it brought the best out of both of us. So it was awesome. Yeah.
There was talk about whether or not you were going to race this morning. Patty just said to you, aren't you glad you raced? Yeah. Are you glad you raced?
I'm super glad I raced. I've been dealing with a little tendon injury, but so I was kind of on the fence, but it actually felt great the whole time. So yeah, I'm stoked. I'm super glad I did it. Yeah.
Talk us through the course specifically. What was going through your mind when you were running? Like, what did you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just tried to remind myself that I was grateful to be there because it's always uncertain to make it to a start line, especially when you're dealing with an injury. So I was just thinking like, how awesome that I get to be out here and push myself. It's beautiful. Yeah, and I just tried to like chunk up the race like I always do. So like first climb, tried to really send that first big downhill, and like second climb actually got over faster than I expected. And then it was kind of downhill from there. So it was a blast. Yeah.
You finished in second. Third place was kind of pushing pretty hard. How aware of you were where third was, like especially at the end?
I tried to look behind me a few times, but I could never quite tell. So I just kind of tried to keep my effort and not let up and just hope that would be enough. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, listen, congratulations. First ever Big Alta, second place.
It was a blast. Definitely.
Will you be back is what I want to know.
Sure. Yeah, why not? It's freaking beautiful here. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Really amazing race there. And again, these athletes just looking so chill and so composed after burning the barn for the last couple of hours. But yeah, how far are we expecting third place to be?
Third place is on the road. So my guess is we're going to have F3 in the next 2 to 3 minutes. We don't know if it's Samantha Diaz or Becca Lohman. We have been told that Sylvia Abel has fallen back in the field a little bit. So we do expect it to be Becca or Samantha. We've got a lot of Diaz fans in the chat cheering her on. I know Anna Gibson headed over to the finish line to see her finish as well. But we got a lot of cheering for Becca Lohman too, Mill Valley gal, looking to throw down. So it's either Becca or Samantha, and we just won't know till they get there.
This anticipation is killing me. It's like Christmas morning. I don't know what we're going to unwrap.
We're
Well, I
cheering
see,
loud.
I believe 10th male coming in now, and I'm just watching back on the course to see when those 3rd and 4th female athletes come in. Oh, I see our 3rd. Here's 3rd. She's wearing a red jersey. Red tee. It's Rebecca Diaz.
Diaz. People are
Diaz
losing
for
it
3rd
in the chat. Out of, I think she's a Wyoming gal,
Rebecca
right?
Diaz.
No, Samantha,
So-
you're just combining
I'll give
you're
it a
combining Lohman and Diaz together into one human.
Samantha Diaz.
We're losing our
Rebecca said she
minds.
looked forward to us, so she's going to grab her breath, but such a strong finish there.
Yeah, Jackson Hole, Jackson, Wyoming. Anna was mentioning that she's been one of her training partners for like the last decade. So really, really cool to see her
fantastic.
show up out of winter, running amazing. That's Yassine.
Yeah, that is
Yassine.
Yassine.
He's been on the
I also think
scene.
I accidentally just
Yassine's been
called
on the scene forever.
Samantha Rebecca, but all good.
Yeah, no, you can't combine Becca Lohman and Samantha Diaz into one person. Becca will be making her way to the. Yeah, they are two different humans.
You said they were so close together, and I just, put the names in my head, and that was that.
I know. No, we did that in studio
Get this guy
too.
some
Tim
caffeine.
just called them.
I regurgitate what Liam said.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it's really just the two guys.
I'm just a parrot.
Don't do that
losing
to
their
me, Tim.
minds.
Don't do that to me.
Hey, if you say it, I'm going to repeat it.
Tim is
There's
like
no
Anchorman.
critical thought in this brain.
Yeah,
Oh my
Tim's like
God.
Anchorman. If it's on the teleprompter,
I will
he's
read
gonna read
whatever
it.
you put on the screen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Amazing.
those will be the day. When we get teleprompters, that's when we know we'll make it. That's when we've made it.
That's when you know we've made it.
Yeah.
Teleprompters, hair and makeup. Tim, do you already have hair and makeup or no?
We were talking about that. Our producer tried, but he did his best.
Tim
I
almost
think we
didn't
got
show
a
up
little
this
more.
morning because he heard we didn't have hair and makeup ready. But he did show up with donuts, so
Amazing.
we're sitting pretty in studio right
Yeah.
now.
Which we're gonna have to take them to the finish line and offer them to the runners because
I mean, I'm definitely gonna have
I'm
one.
the only
before
one
you do
eating the
that.
donuts right now.
They're too far away from me.
Yeah. Well, I offered you one, and you
I-
said, "Oh, I had a pastry." It's
Yeah.
like, no, have a donut.
Someone's now calling you Anchor Tim in the chat.
Anchor Tim. I don't know about that.
Liam, once Samantha Diaz has caught her breath, we'd love to hear from her while we wait for F4 to make her way to the finish line.
Yeah.
We do know that our top 10 women have come
I
off the
actually
ridge.
lost you for a second, but I found her.
You can't lose our runners,
Amazing.
Liam. You got to find them.
I really
I
like.
found her. She's over at the nutrition booth filling up.
Gotcha. That's okay.
Maybe
We'll
she's
allow
going
it.
out for another lap.
We'll allow it.
I really liked what Liam Marrow said in his interview that like you can never underestimate or under respect the distance or the nutrition aspects. He's young, he's new to the sport, but he demonstrated that he's learning, and I think there's a really bright future for him. And he stuck his nose in it, but we kind of saw that experience play out where as he was starting to, hit that 115 mark, figuring out the calorie intake, starting to feel the body kind of deteriorate a little bit, that's where Patty made his move. Patty really relied on his experience, his strength, and knowing that, hey, I can suffer and keep pushing. And I think that's something that Liam's going to continue to develop. And so it's going to be fun to watch his career develop as he figures out that skill set, which is absolutely necessary to do well in these things.
I've got her.
Searching for Whopper.
I saw that. Have you got what you need?
I got it, yes.
Awesome. Samantha, third place. It was tight. It was close. Talk us through the race.
Well, your body has a way of telling you what it needs, and I got sick on Tuesday, so I think it was telling me I needed rest, but I had no idea how I was going to feel today, but it was absolute blast. Yeah, definitely felt rested. I was glad it wasn't, you couldn't ask for a better day. So it was a really fun build-up race.
When you were on the course, how aware were you of the distance between you and Claire in second place?
I absolutely clueless until probably about halfway, like 2.5 miles left. And one of the somebody just on the trail, because I couldn't see her at all. So somebody on the trail told me that she was about 90 seconds. So that kind of woke me up a little bit and was like, okay, let's just see how much of that gap I can close, and roll and have some fun.
So given that you didn't know where she was for the majority of the race, what was your strategy today?
Just kind of pulling up one by one. I had some awesome guys around me and ladies, and it was just kind of like, slowly building up, and just never letting off the gas and just kind of leaning into it and having fun. Yeah.
You already mentioned how beautiful the course was. This is your first time running on these trails, right?
It is. I grew up kind of in the Placerville area, so similar like scenery. So it's kind of fun. I was feeling pretty nostalgic. I was like, feeling like I was in high school again, just running in the foothills. So it was an absolute blast.
The field was stacked, you know? Tell me a little bit about this race, what it means to you for this part of the season.
It was, I live in Wyoming, so we've been running on snow and ice for the last couple of months. So just being able to get in some sun and on some dirt is truly special, and a great start to the season.
Do you think we'll see you back?
I hope so. Yeah, definitely be back.
Amazing. Well, congratulations on third place. Thank you for joining us.
So thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. So here comes our next woman. Perfectly timed.
Awesome
There is
running.
Becca Lohman from Mill
So
Valley.
strong. Look, I've got it right here. We can just ask her. Becca, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's a really fun day.
She's
Thank
just
you
like
for coming.
walking away.
Yeah. Liam's just walking.
Liam was following with the mic.
Talk to me, someone.
Becca, did you know how close you were to third place?
Yeah.
Okay, you were really close.
Get together out there. Lots of support from everyone, which is typical. I love it. That's why I love it.
The camera's this way, so just face this way a little bit. Yeah, of course, there's a camera. Oh, we're doing this. We're doing this. So you said you were working together. Tell me more about that.
The brief moments that I was with those women, everyone's cheering for one another and supporting one another. Yeah, couldn't ask for a better day.
You are our local lady. People are definitely rooting for you as a local. What does it mean to be racing that well on these trails?
Just to have an event in our backyard is really cool. An event at this caliber is really cool to see. So hopefully there are more. I'm just stoked about it.
Everyone was definitely rooting for you on the broadcast. There was some definite love for you. So that was really nice. Do you envisage coming back and racing this one again?
Oh yeah, I'll be back next year. Let's do it.
Amazing. Ready to throw down?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Congratulations on top 5. You did amazing. Thanks for joining us. So there she is, Becca Lohman. And
Bye,
there's another
Becca.
male coming in.
Becca's amazing.
So we're almost through the top 5 of women.
That is our top. That is our top 4. Yeah,
4,
top
right, we have
4.
one more.
Yep.
Almost
So
through.
we'll be. That's Sylvie Abel just hit the pavement, I believe, and I think she was back in. I think she had slipped back to F6, was what I had heard from on course. But we'll keep our eyes on that. There's your homie
There's Scotty Bowes.
hanging in there.
He's hanging in there. It's a lot different than the track. And it'll be interesting with Sylvia Abel. If our information is correct, that she did start Black Canyon 100K 2 weeks ago, but did not finish. So coming back here to run a 28K fast is, that's a tall order.
That's not easy to do.
No.
Yeah, California gal. So, home territory, has raced a lot in the, the Bay Area.
And a lot of those, like the half marathon to 50K distance. So I think this is really in her arsenal, like kind of in her sweet spot. But coming off of a 100K attempt is really difficult.
All the way from Sioux Margot, Carl Chris.
Who?
It's Carl.
That guy had some flow.
Warm up for Courmayeur. You can be.
There was major vibe.
Major vibe. Much vibes with that guy. Yeah,
You hear
so
this?
we can hear
By the way,
this.
he's so gorgeous. He and Debo are just vibing right now. He just said it was so gorgeous. He actually spent more time taking pictures than running.
We love that. I mean, you got to soak it up out there.
Another runner with a SFRC shirt coming through.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of SFRC shirts. That's where Pack Up Pickup was on Friday as well. You know, kind of like you can see their branding on the tent that Dylan's standing near at the finish line too. Like they have truly made, you know, they're a big part of the community.
They also provide the timing. Ted
Yeah.
Nixon,
Yeah.
who also times Western States 100, is right there under the tent. You can see him standing. He is the timer for this race and the owner of SFRC.
Yeah.
SFRC is, I mean, that was one of the iconic, real like community hubs.
And it
a
still
decade ago.
is.
And it still is.
It still
but like
is.
that was like on the West Coast, really like it seeded this next generation of trail runners that have gone off into all different parts of the globe, really, to have success. SFRC was pivotal in that.
Yeah, 100%. And their Saturday morning group shreds essentially are still alive and well. And they've partnered with like the Marin area Trail Sisters, who they host one of the Saturdays every month as well, where they do some like no drop running too. They like establish some more pace groups there. Like it's been really, really cool. I think most of us have a stinky pair of shoes or a plaque or an award that we've donated to the shop over time as well. My stinky shoes are right by the cash register.
Fantastic.
They're not behind any sort of glass. There's Sylvie.
Sylvie.
It's our fifth woman, Sylvie Abel.
I feel like her split from the road to the finish was faster.
She was ripping.
Yeah. 2:28, well under the 2:30 mark. Fifth woman in, so we're looking for behind her. We're looking for Julia Schultz, Sarah Wesson Chang, Rachel Lenz, Katie Fitzpatrick, and Lauren Daniels. And there could be some more movement in that group too, because that's just from the Big Rock aid station behind her. We've got Catherine Jonas, Rachel Long, another Wyoming gal, Maddie Tite, Lindsay Clausen, Morgan Pack. The list goes on.
It's really neat to see that depth in these races. You know, and as we spoke earlier, or you were mentioning, like, it's not the lesser distance. It's the 28K. This is to be celebrated. And
Yeah.
It's really neat to see these like sub ultras like developing. I know with Trailfest, we noticed that our 26K sold out first, and it's our largest event, like more so than a 50K. People are willing to travel for a good short 16, 18 miler.
Yeah, and I think
it's a good entry point.
I think the Rut has experienced that
the Rut-
too. I think Broken Arrow experiences that. Those like that 26K, 28K distance has really been like a great selling point for many folks. Oftentimes they're the better course.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two little crushers. Oh. And Scotty comes in under the 2:30 mark.
Nice work,
Just
Scotty.
shy of his marathon PR.
Yeah, it's
But you're right, and what I love about the like 26K, 28K distance is it's an entry to the sport.
Yeah.
Because most of us, honestly, all of us, 100 miles is so far. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
50K is so far. But doing a 26K, 28K is a little more palatable. It's like, hey, that looks approachable. It's aspirational. And it's really cool to see this reach a new audience and get people into our community.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like those have been the distances that I've gravitated to at a lot of these races. I've done the like 26 to 28K race at Sky Peaks in Flagstaff. I've done the 26K at the Rut. I've got to come to Mammoth apparently. Like,
you need to come down.
They're amazing, and oftentimes in my mind too,
unforgivable that you haven't been with us.
Those races.
And the chat can tell us, like, Corinne is auditioning for live stream commentary for Mammoth Trail Fest right now. So, like, let us know how she's been doing, and if I should put her resume to the top, or if we need a little more practice.
Yeah, this is a working interview, you know, where they don't pay you. Here we go. F7 off, like, looks like F7 just hit the road as well. So we're waiting for F6 and F7 to come in. That looked like an Impala.
Yep.
Singlet.
And you spoke to the Impalas earlier. Like, what's really neat is Northern California has one of the most robust post-collegiate development systems in the PA, the Pacific Association of USATF, for road racing, trail racing, and track racing. And that's where we've seen a lot of these athletes make their way from the road to the trail to the ultra scene. And it's because of the PA development. Like, every weekend you can find a race throughout Northern California where you will show up and Olympic trials qualifiers or All-American collegiate runners are going to be out there, and you can just kind of, like, you know, sharpen your chops with them.
We're turning the Strider bike off the finish line there. We got parents in action down there this weekend. So in the Impala singlet, coming off what I think is an Impala singlet, coming off the the trail onto the pavement there is Julia Schultz, the 25-year-old out of San Francisco. Has some trail experience, clearly has done some stuff on the road. But yeah, this is probably one of her longer trail races. She did the Lake Sonoma Marathon last year in the spring in 2022, finishing fifth
and
there.
Where is Julia going to be this September?
Mammoth Trail Fest 26K.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at
so
that.
This is, she's sharpening her tools right now.
Yeah, it'll be, I mean, what a cool.
I think it'll pay dividends later in the season for her.
Oh, we got a baby.
The baby.
The baby looks like it's asleep. Oh, we got a little hand wave for the baby.
Rocking the Big Alta cap.
I love a baby in sunglasses. Oh, yes.
This will be fantastic.
Banana
Liam is
Man.
standing there with Banana Boy himself, the legend.
So Corinne and Tim said Liam's standing with Banana Boy himself. Matt, you were on crew camera leading with the leading men. Give us a quick blow by blow. What was that like for you?
It was a blast. Really fun to experience the race firsthand, I think. Coming into that aid station, we had Liam and Patty together, and you see Nick like make a subtle move, and then you could see it in Nick's eyes. Like when he went. And I think I just love watching that kind of competitiveness in trail running. It's why I really like the sport and get into it. So being able to chase Nick down, he was hauling, but I think you took a screenshot. Like we were running 5:30 gap up that fire road, and so to see Nick kind of turn it on. And I mean, I've always known Nick to be a sender in everything he does. So kind of watching that unfold, watching Patty try to chase him down, like it just reminds me why I love the sport so much.
So listen to this, right? Listen to this, Corinne and Tim. Matt just showed me in Strava from that. So straight out of Big Rock, this is pace, not gap. 6:55, 7:45, 7:48, 6:33, 6:39, 6:25, 5:14, 5:31, 5:54, with an average gap basically of 5:30 the whole way.
Absolutely banger.
This honestly a little more so than Black Canyon right now, you could argue, but it's a blast. Marin is a fun place to run. What are you?
Here's the question. You've done the camera this year. You've seen what the standard's like. You've seen what the course is like. Matt Seidel, Big Alta 25.
Oh, sign me up for the 50K right now.
Oh, there you go. Exclusive. Exclusive. Matt, great job on the camera. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Liam. Always.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Liam,
You're
we just
better
had...
hit first.
Yeah, I know. Well, Matt will sign up for basically every race he put on his calendar.
Yeah.
He's a 50K a month kind of athlete. But we did actually, while that was going on, have our F6 and F7 finish in F6 position. We had Sarah Wesson Chang come in, and then we did see that blue Impala singlet of Julia Schultz come in as well in 7th position. So we've got our top 7 women through the Big Alta 28K finish line.
Incredible. Yeah, I heard the commotion. That was amazing. And again, both athletes looking so composed, in great shape.
I think the 28K might be my new favorite distance.
We got a cowgill coming down here. 2 women.
Nice.
8 and 9.
I wonder if that's Rachel in the...
It's a pretty tight spread for...
Yeah, I think Rachel
F4
Lenz
through
is
F10.
probably in the cowgill cap. She's a Seattle, Washington. I know we've got some cowgill folks in Boise. I know we've got some cowgill
Rachel
folks
Lenz,
in
yeah.
Bellingham, but I do believe in that cowgill cap was Rachel Lenz
Seattle.
from Seattle, Washington. She looks like she's probably right with Katie Fitzpatrick, I think. I don't think that was Lauren Daniels. My eyesight... It's not always the best. I'm getting old, team. I'm gonna need glasses. I'm gonna need glasses soon. But yeah, Rachel Lenz, bifocals, getting crazy. Rachel Lenz should be in a duel for 8 and 9, I believe, with Katie Fitzpatrick. They have hit the road. They are on their way on the tarmac into the finish line, and then at Big Rock Ridge, anyway. Lauren Daniels was sitting in 10th position, curious to see who comes in that F10 position. And that's our goal today. Our goal today is to bring you coverage through the top 10 women. And we are well on our way to welcoming them all in through the Big Alta finishing arch. I just had the incomparable. I'm saying everyone's incomparable. We just had the most amazing human being from the Bay Area, Fernando, come to drop off his gimbal after pulling a heavy shift out on course today.
He did an incredible job. He's one of those originals of the SFRC community, the Saturday Shreds, which is really neat that we have, a decade later, seen those athletes, men and women that used to be part of those shreds, either in the race racing or on the film crew providing us coverage. It speaks to the testament of the depth of the connection you find in this trail community.
I do think both Matt Seidel and Fernando are probably the two most heavily used camera runners in the state of California. I feel like we're always trying. We're like, you can't actually race this weekend because we really need you to run the cameras.
If you could buy stock in an athlete, buy it in Matt Seidel and Fernando.
Yeah. It sounds like we've got Liam at the finish line. Liam, what's up?
Yeah, I'm here with Gordon. He just finished 32nd in about 2:34. And so, fun, quick little story. Is your dad, right?
Oh, was watching?
Yeah, he was watching, and he said, I'm going to watch the live stream. I want to watch you. And Gordon said, no, like, they only show the top 10 guys on the live stream. They're not going to show me. Paddy just told me this story. And so he said, let's put Gordon on the live stream. So I figured, let's give him a quick post-race interview. What do you think?
Sounds great.
Amazing. Gordon, tell us about the race.
The race was awesome. This was my first time racing in like 5 years, and it felt really good. So
sprint finish
shout out
for
to
the
Patty
win.
for getting me on the live stream. Patty's a much better trail runner than I am, but I still think I'm a better lacrosse player than Patty. So anyone listening can challenge him on that. And shout out to my family who's watching and legendary marathoner Ed McLaughlin.
There you go. Thank you so much, Gordon. Congrats on a great day.
The women just rolling into the finish line, too. We just had a sprint finish.
Was that maybe a 2-second split between them?
Yeah, and they came off the trail together, and that looked like that was Rachel Lenz in the cowgill cap.
Rachel Lenz rocking the cowgill cap.
I think Kate Fitzpatrick, but it's not updated yet. I just keep refreshing things on my end.
It's Lauren. It's Lauren in 556.
Oh,
Lauren Daniels. So Rachel
Yeah.
Lenz and Lauren Daniels coming in 8 and 9.
Incredible.
Cowgill shorts left and right coming into the finish line, too.
Yeah, the cowgirl crew were clearly running together. Great job, man. So good, Philippe.
Can't break the herd.
Can't break the herd.
Yeah, the finish is coming in thick and fast now. Really starting to see the vibe at the finish line is electric. It's really, really awesome, especially considering it's still only 10:30 on a Sunday. It's squarely before brunch, and we have got really, really good vibes. So beautiful day, beautiful finish, and we still have 3 more women.
We're waiting for one more woman to come in, F10, and we knew that she is on the road. So yeah, just to recap for folks, Tabor Hemming took the win ahead of Claire Rhodes. Samantha Diaz snuck in there for a third over Becca Lohman. Sylvia Abel held on to 5th position. Then we had kind of a duel between Sarah Wesson Chang in 6th and Julia Schultz in 7th. We just saw Rachel Lenz of Seattle, Washington, and Lauren Daniels finish in 8th and 9th, and we are not sure who is in 10th, and that is who we are waiting to come to the finish line. She is on the road, making her way there, should be there in, a matter of minutes.
The clock reads 2 hours and 40 minutes since they started in the same spot. They have traveled 17.3 miles, 4,000 feet of climbing, 4,000 feet of descent. Beautiful bluebird day there in the Bay Area.
Only a little bit of mud early on, just to add some spice and flavor. They avoided the Whopper. They avoided the climb out of Fairfax. They are probably happy with all those decisions, and they've all put on phenomenal showings at the front of this race. Obviously, many more athletes to make their way to the finish line. I believe we had how many starters on our start line?
Good decisions were made today.
We had 293 entrants. I don't think everyone made their way to the start, but we had 293 people, almost 300 people signed up for this inaugural 28K, the Big Alta 28K presented by GOLDWIN. What a fun first year.
Absolutely
Corinne
incredible.
and Tim, do you have a highlight and a low light, or just a highlight? What was the highlight of the weekend for you? Oh, here's top 10 woman. Don't answer the question. Here is the 10th woman rounding it out right now, absolutely barreling down the chute. Oh my goodness. It's a sprint finish between her and the guy in the yellow. Do you see this?
Take him. Take him.
Take him down.
She's going.
He did not stand a chance.
For the Impalas.
The Impalas locking it down for the hometown.
Yes.
Top 10. The excitement on her face.
That was amazing.
He did not stand a chance.
What was our bib number there, Matt? Did you see it?
583.
583. Katie Fitzpatrick.
Katie Fitzpatrick is your 10th woman across the line. Incredible.
Let me see if I can grab a real quick. Katie, you just finished. You rounded up our top 10 women. Congratulations.
Thanks.
How you feeling?
Great. That was so much fun.
What just happened? You and that guy just had a little duel?
I had to duke it out with him, but just for fun.
You smoked him.
I gave him a big hug.
Congratulations on a great race. So there you have it, folks. That's top 10 men and top 10 women into the finish. Absolutely stellar morning. I did just ask you, Corinne and Tim, highlight of the weekend over both races.
That's a tough one.
Donuts.
Oh, I mean, that's always a highlight. You know, my highlight is that in an inaugural event, we have this much support from people coming out and participating in it, you know, believing in the community, you know, from what Freetrail and Daybreak and Mountain Outpost are putting out. It's fantastic. So I'd say my highlight is just, you know, it's a testament to what's developing in our current sport with the community and just the level of commitment everyone has. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
You want to hear Debo's highlight?
What's Debo's highlight?
Debo, what's your highlight?
My highlight is that I just got approached by a man named Eric Dickerson, who is affiliated with the town management, and he came up glowing, beaming like all of our race finishers about just how happy he is that everybody came to Marinwood. Marinwood now officially on the map here after the inaugural Big Alta. That's my highlight.
At least he wasn't checking permits.
No, we're good there.
Cease and desist.
Debo, what an amazing event.
Noise
Exactly.
complaint.
Can you imagine? Oh
Noise
my
complaint
gosh.
before brunch.
Yep.
Not great. Yeah, I think my
Are you
highlight.
going with donuts, or do you have one?
No, I have one. I think it's kind of what we said yesterday, the kind of hashtag wholesome. Like it's really, really cool to see. We got lots of heart, hands going on in studio here, but just this idea that, yeah, we're able to execute, and we are still executing on a really amazing community centered race weekend that has such high production value that we got to be joined by so many people on the live chat all morning, watching incredible races play out both in the 50K yesterday and in the 28K today. Obviously, many more runners out on course to make their way to the finishing arch. And just, I got to hang out at the finish line for a little bit yesterday, and it's absolutely electric out there. People were just like hanging out in the grass in the park. We lucked out with the weather. None of us had control over that, and I just feel so grateful that we made this whole thing possible. Big shout outs to Dylan's insane mind, Harmony putting up with Dylan's insane mind, Jeremy Long and his brother like seeing the vision and wanting to execute on it, and then obviously the whole team behind Mountain Outpost also seeing the vision that we have for things like this and bringing us all together to make it happen.
And yesterday, what was fantastic is we had a couple, let's call them golden hour finishers in the 50K, just barely squeaking under the 9 hour mark. And then there was one guy, I believe it was maybe 6 seconds over, but we all determined that, hey, we're going to give him his chip time, not the gun time.
Love it.
Official finish. And then we had a shout out to Connor, who was our final finisher. He was 6 minutes over the cutoff, but he's an incredible staple of this community. He also has come out to Trail Fest the last couple of years. And so Connor, big kudos to you for finishing that 50K, brutal 50K. But yeah, it's just a testament to where we are as a sport, and it's really neat to see.
Yeah. Liam, anything you want to add before we slowly wrap things up here in studio?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you both have, and Dylan as well, summed it up so well. But I think for me, it's so exciting to see where trail running is and also where it's going. I have worked on a bunch of different sports and a bunch of different broadcasts with sports in that kind of small starting place. And it feels like trail running's already past that. But I've also seen where those sports go with effort and with passion and with investment. And I feel like we're at a really, really pivotal point, and where things are going to, just only continue to get better, both in the athletic sense, in the quality of the broadcast that we can offer. I mean, it's great sports entertainment. And what's better than being out on the trails?
I have a highlight.
Yes.
Corinne on the mic. Corinne on the mic. Can we give it up for Corinne on the mic?
Yes.
I will never silence her. I will give you a mic any day.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
But even that, it's just so good to have people that are passionate and knowledgeable and capable of holding down a broadcast. I think when you have people like you and Tim and Dylan who are so naturally skilled at this, it's really easy to forget like what a talent it is, you know? You can have some really, really poor commentators, poor anchors that can ruin it. They can kill it. And you all do... Yeah, oh, I mean, that's unavoidable. You know, when you work with... that's going to happen. That's okay. You know, it was a one
Poor cell coverage, bad Starlinks, the wrong donuts.
Yeah. Do you have subtitles for me or not?
We needed subtitles for you, actually. Closed captioning was needed for that Patty
O'Leary
interview.
Yeah, you and Patty O'Leary needed closed captioning for that interview.
For sure. We'll put that in post-production.
I'll go back and take the recording and post it. Exactly, yeah.
It doesn't count. It's Irish.
Yeah, it doesn't. But it's true. I like genuinely, you know, and I say this from like a professional sense, from my experience professionally, but truly from like my heart as a runner, you know. It is so beautiful and so special, and we are so fortunate to have people like you all in the community that do this, because it makes everything so much better. So thank you. It's such an honor and such a gift, and I'm so grateful. And what a race. Big Alta, 50K, 28K. We're done. Like, they're not done. There's still so much to go, but you know, that elite field just put on such a show.
Yeah, it's amazing. Liam, we're going to let you slowly, you know, clock out at the finish line. We'll see you in a little bit. Tim and I are going to walk over this vat of donuts we have over here. We're going to slowly sign off. So, what a weekend. Tim, are you going to retire from running so that you can just do this with me for forever?
I mean, don't tell my sponsors, but I think so. It's way too much fun.
We can fit some logos in here, you know?
I mean, it's been absolutely fantastic. And I also, it's a good reminder for all of our listeners, there are still several hours left on the clock. And so people will be finishing... Is it a 6-hour cutoff?
I think so.
So we have 3 hours and 11 more minutes for people to finish. So if you're in the Mill Valley area,
come
on out. Hang out at the finish line. Come to the community park. Be part of it. People are having a good time. Yesterday, we were just basically camping out, having a little picnic for another 5 hours. It was fantastic. So it's a beautiful day. I encourage you to come on out and be part of it. It's going to be just actually absolute banger.
Yeah. So before we let you go, we have to give the biggest shout out to the folks behind the cameras, our camera runners, Matt in studio, holding it down for us. He didn't pull any of his hair out today. We are really appreciative to the guys and gals behind the Mountain Outpost making this all happen again. The Big Alta presented by GOLDWIN is this amazing collaboration between the fine folks at Freetrail and the amazing team at Daybreak Racing. Could not do it without our sponsors, Red Bull, HVMN, and Speedland. Again, GOLDWIN behind me, our presenting sponsor. We will be back with another live broadcast at the Gorge race weekend in April. Mountain Outpost is helping us out there too.
LFG.
You don't even have to wait that long. Like we're like what? Like less than 2 months? 6 weeks?
Incredible. It's gonna be great.
So I know you're gonna like high and dry for a little bit, but we promise April 12th weekend we're gonna be back. The Gorge coverage for the 50K and 100K is going to be amazing. We can't wait to see so many of you out in the Portland area. And until then, we'll let you guys go. Go enjoy the trails. Go get your long run in.
Thank you to HVMN and Ketone IQ for supporting the inaugural Big Alta and our live stream coverage here of race weekend. These products, absolute game changers, and they're going to be available at each and every aid station for our runners here this weekend. If you don't know, Ketone IQ is a game-changing, groundbreaking nutrition product delivering exogenous ketones to endurance athletes to give them a little bit more physical and psychological energy when they hit that wall and they need a little bit of extra energy to pull from. Ketone IQ has made a huge difference in my life. I would definitely recommend you check it out. There's a link and a discount code here in the show notes, hvmn.com/freetrail30. A big thanks to Ketone IQ. The inaugural Big Alta presented by GOLDWIN. A big thank you to GOLDWIN for their support of our race this year. You'll see that I'm wearing their inaugural trail running capsule of products, this Japanese brand moving into trail running for the first time. We couldn't be more excited to help them do so. You see, we got the Marinwood green waterproof jacket, Freetrail logo on it. It's part of their initial trail running capsule. We've also got a great pair of trail running shorts here. You'll see the signpost logo there, bottom right. Also have another Freetrail logo on the back. There's also a really nice wool and polyester blend t-shirt as part of this trail running capsule. And finally, a nice pair of waterproof pants. Hopefully we won't need these on race day, but a big thank you to GOLDWIN. Check out the description for a link and a discount code that you can apply towards these great products. Thanks to GOLDWIN for helping to support the Big Alta in its inaugural year, and especially the live stream.